think is insane. What do you make of this setup with all our creators?
I didn't know what to expect walking in here, and just walking in here, seeing the environment, the vibe, and just how good it looks, it's amazing to me.
It's pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie, it's very vibey for sure. Tristan, have you managed to get your hands on the game yet? Have you played?
Yeah, I played. It's a great game. It's like a new what's the name? New maps, a new setup, and it's very nice. A little different, a little change, and it'll be fun. It'll be fun. I'll see how much I'll get on the game.
All right, we'll see how much you're grinding for sure.
I'll
and
grind
Bub,
for sure.
what type of player are you, Bub? Are you multiplayer, zombies? What do you dabble in? Multiplayer?
100%. Don't touch Warzone. I play zombies sometimes. I'm not really good at the game, so I just play Warzone so you can keep coming back to life.
Damn, I was really hoping you'd start being like, I'm going to smoke kids. I was talking a big game, but that's fair. You got time to grind. Absolutely not. And obviously, we're seeing some of the incredible creators try this out. Are you guys fans of anyone's streams at all?
Nope.
We've seen a couple of AMP members in here, so it's pretty cool.
Amazing. I love to hear that. And lastly, Tristan, how are you guys feeling about maybe squadding up together at some point when the game releases?
Us three? Oh, we should play for sure. We should start streaming. I think this has given a good jump start for us. Maybe we get into streaming, so that'll be nice.
Hey, you heard it here first. A Wizards team might be actually emerging out of Call of Duty Next. Gents, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the day. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Lottie. We've got some of the biggest names in Washington all here to check out Black Ops 6. I wanted to ask you, though, while we're watching more gameplay, who is the greatest celebrity or athlete that you've played with or against or just watched in Call of Duty?
Oh, man, you're talking about skill at Call of Duty, huh? I would say I played with a decent amount of athletes. You know, Marcus Valdez-Scantling was unbelievable at
MVS?
Warzone. MVS is one of the best Warzone players that I've played with. I think he's great. And then Max Holloway, a fighter, unbelievable player as well.
He was really good. I won a gunfight tournament with Michael B. Jordan, the greatest teammate.
did.
And I went into that. I'm not gonna lie. I went into that fully thinking I was gonna have to carry him. He wasn't gonna know anything. He came in hot as hell, knew everything, had his own call outs.
Yeah.
He asked me a couple of questions, and I was like, we're absolutely going to smoke this. There's no way we lose. And we did.
Did he have an 8-pack or a 10-pack in person?
He was wearing his own clothes.
Why were you looking?
He starred in Creed. He's a pretty good athlete.
Everybody loves Call of Duty.
Let's take a look at the gameplay.
Tim loves Call of Duty.
Tim loves Call of Duty, except when he rage quits.
He
But
did rage quit.
he's not going to do it now. We talked to him about
Here we
it.
go.
No, he did it like 10 minutes ago.
Zogoro.
My bad.
Oh, wow. Hit that player. Wow. Look at the diving. There you go.
It looked good to me. It looked good to me,
Go
Zoe.
forward, then backwards, and those are some of the gunfights you're going to have to get used to in this game.
I mean,
It's super fun.
dude, the quads on that man to hit them dives.
Hitting them squats.
Look at this. This is so hard to stay alive. That was a phase player taking him down there. I'm not sure exactly who that was, but on a shifty, another Warzone warrior.
But also one of the most individually talented, just Call of Duty players we've seen come into the scene from a content creator side, and now competitor in Warzone. He's been unreal, so I'm excited to see what he can display here.
His aims is not missing, Ellie.
No, he's not missing. But kind of piggybacking off of Omni movement, it looks like a lot. Like, it looks very daunting. But I promise you, once you are loading into the game, once you are playing, it comes so naturally. It feels like it's going to be a big change. It really isn't. It's super fun. It's super natural. And you can already see it. Like, people aren't struggling. They're having fun. They're testing out kind of their limits and their abilities with the Omni movement. It is so, so good.
Oh, yeah, at this point in time, I think our creators have had maybe like 2 or 3 hours of total gameplay time. So, I mean, they've picked it up real fast. It's going to feel difficult for them to go back to, you know, a different Call of Duty, go back to MW3 or go back to previous games. You know, we always love to do throwback tournaments and throwback gameplay in the sort of mid-off season. It's going to be hard after Omni movement.
Oh, 100%. I mean, it's going to change the way that you approach basically every scenario. I mean, when you're hitting a corner and you're walking into a building, like I said, you know, we were talking about it just feels natural. Like, it's new, it's awesome, but it feels natural, almost how it should be. And obviously, they've catered the maps towards the movement as well, so everything is smooth when you're running around.
Some games that you'll play in the FPS genre, it feels like you're ice skating around the map. Absolutely not in this. Now, what's happening here, Miles?
Oh, this is, I mean, we're taking a hostage, and we're holding on to this player as a meat shield.
Wow. Wait, that hipfire was insanely accurate.
So again, this is a new feature in the game. You're able to take these players hostage from behind. This is sort of an alternate to an execution. This is going to go huge in Search and Destroy, in Warzone. You can take a hold of players. They will take the bullets for you. You have a limited amount of time, and if you get rescued, you can be rescued by your teammates. So, and I'm screaming like, it's got me. I'm being taken.
I got you,
I'm being taken. Wheeler's coming out of nowhere.
Climbing the sniper.
Would you call
saving
that
me.
a meat shield?
It's a meat. I'm calling them a meat shield. That's not the. I don't think that's the official
It's a
name.
personal
I don't know.
bodyguard.
I feel like I just got told that was the official name.
I like that you're a
Unofficial
personal
bodyguard.
That was
bodyguard.
just what came to my head there.
Against your will, bodyguard.
Hey, guess what? You got a job now for the next 12 seconds. That's right. You'll be guarding me, sir. Marley 13, though, thank you so much for that. And oh, yes.
Yep.
Legion.
Why do this ADS on this is crazy.
Oh, he power punched it too.
Oh, yeah. Legion, do it. Find somebody and blow him up.
Let's do it. Come on.
Yeah, baby!
Oh, no, he's been taken.
Leave him alone!
Oh no.
Leave him alone!
Well, Legion turns into someone's personal meat shield as the game comes to a close. And a draw. We don't see many of those either.
Yeah.
And I love that they're just using this left and right. This is so sick.
He's screaming for help. Please, somebody save me. It doesn't last forever. You will be taken care of there. And Zogoro, look, man, it happens to the best of us.
So you just have to be aware. You can't get taken as the meat shield.
It's
That
going to
is
be
just
all
not-
snipers, right?
not
All
ideal.
the snipers who have been camping, you
Yeah.
finally climb up next to them. They don't get to use tac insertion. Nah, they coming with me.
And you know what? When you have that prox chat out, I'm talking to you the whole
Oh,
time.
the whole time,
In
whispering.
your
Take that
ear,
killer suit
literally
off,
in your
buddy,
ear.
okay?
Hey, buddy, what you doing up here?
Do you mind if I just borrow your body for a second?
Just for a minute.
Just take some bullets for me.
All right, Zog, what do you got for me? I'm ready for some Blaine train.
Not much. Not much.
It's coming though. You know,
you
it
sure?
takes a moment
There
to
we
get
go.
used to the aim down sight speed. He's getting collats here. What more do you want from him?
Honestly, I think that was an opposite jinx. I think I just helped him there.
It's all happening here, folks. Collaterals, body shield
Attack is
plays.
locked.
It's happening here at Call
He's
of Duty
locked.
Next. Unbelievable
he's
day
pulled the
so
sub
far.
out.
Question on Attach. So he won his first world championship when we went to New Movement back in Advanced Warfare.
That is true.
How do you feel he's going to adapt as now one of the old guard in the CDL coming
Godlike.
into Omni Movement?
I think he's going to love it. I mean, Attach is a guy who could run any weapon, so we'll definitely be checking him out later today throughout the show.
We'll be checking out a whole lot later on today in the show, but now we're going to take a little bit of a moment to look back. Let's take a look back at some of the best reactions during multiplayer today, brought to you by our friends at TCL.
What's up? What's up, Carson? Ooh wee. There's a lot going on. I don't know if I like all of it. You know what I mean? I'm definitely not getting starry-eyed about this game.
And that does it for Black Ops 6 multiplayer. We're heading out to a very quick break, but when we come back, we'll be back over at the desk with more of our Treyarch developers for an exclusive look at Black Ops 6 Zombies. That's it all, folks.
let's
Stay
take a
tuned
look at
throughout the
Zombies, see what
show
that's
for live Warzone gameplay on the new Resurgence map and updates on Call of Duty Mobile and Warzone Mobile 2. Ooh.
Don't go anywhere.
Wow.
Zombies time indeed. Yeah, I'm definitely ready. I don't like that when you take somebody hostage, it goes third person, but in the campaign, it stays first person. You know what I mean?
Experience the world of Call of Duty with Corsair, the official gaming hardware and peripheral partner of Call of Duty. Introducing the Call of Duty Black Ops 6 collaboration from Movement. Get early access with email sign up at movement.com/COD. Call of Duty Next is powered by Xfinity. Stay ahead of the game.
I
with
totally agree.
ultra-fast speeds
Campaign should
and
always be
smooth
first person. It's one of the
low-lag
reasons I didn't
connection.
like Modern Warfare 2's campaign
Operators
when
get
you would
ready
like
to
drive a
unleash
vehicle.
force of
It went to
nature
third
with
person.
Polaris
It's like
Razor Pro R.
Modern Warfare has
Dropping
always
into
been
Call of
first person
Duty
when you
Warzone
drove. It's
in
always been
Season
first
1.
person, like period.
Change your game. Scuff Gaming, the official controller
Like shit, if I
partner
want
of
to play
Call of Duty.
third person, I'd go play,
Take your Call of
you
Duty
know,
gameplay
I don't
to
know,
the
ride
next
vehicles
level
in
with
Warzone,
Nanoleaf's
or I'd
modular
go play
RGB smart lights.
Fortnite,
Step into the game
you know.
and sync your lights with the action
But I think
on
the multiplayer
screen
should
for the
also
highest
be,
level of gaming immersion.
you know, first person too. Like
Origin.
you grab
Customize
somebody,
your
it gives
PC,
you an optical
official
advantage.
gaming
Maybe not a
PC
movement
and gaming
advantage, probably
laptop,
slows you
Call of
down,
Duty.
but it gives you like an optical advantage. I don't know. I think it was a dumb choice personally.
Welcome back, folks. I found myself up on another overlook perch here at Call of Duty Next to let you guys know that the 5th annual Call of Duty Endowment Bowl presented by USAA will be coming to you live directly following Call of Duty Next. Code Bowl 5 will feature 10 esports teams from the military branches from the US, UK, and Canada to compete alongside the most competitive players in Call of Duty Warzone, including Aiden, Benny Central, Natasha, Olims, Joe Woe, Stode,
I wonder what building they're at.
Symphony, Teep, Westy,
I wasn't paying attention.
Zelena,
I got in like
country
really
music
late.
star Kane Brown, and more. Tune in to see who will dominate Urzikstan, be crowned the second Monster MVP, and for the first time ever, claim victory in the Code Bowl 5 Solo YOLO. You won't want to miss the chance to celebrate 5 years of Code Bowl, 15 years of endowment impact for veterans, and learn more about the upcoming endowment pack in Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Stay tuned after next to see who will take home the coveted Code Bowl 5 trophy, live from Washington, D.C. Now, I'll tell you what, folks, the energy in this building is unbelievable.
Will you get a
and we've
what
only just
operator? A
really
Monica
begun.
operator?
You are just tuning in live. Welcome to Washington, D.C. Welcome to Call of Duty
Oh,
Next.
Jesus.
We've had so much incredible news so
Nah,
far.
man, you wouldn't
but it's not
take any
over
time to
yet
actually
because
play
we're
the
gonna head
game.
on down now to the developers at Treyarch to give you guys an exclusive look at Black Ops 6 Zombies. So, GB, you know what to do. It's over to you.
Thank you so much for that, Lonnie. And yes, the Cold Bowl is incredible. Make sure you guys stick around for that. And a great time. And those players are going to throw down in the server. You best believe that. But here we go, folks. We're at the desk. And it's now time to talk about everyone's favorite undead thingamajigam. It's zombies, baby. And you guys may have seen this online. Round-based zombies is back. And honestly, I'm stoked. It could be better than ever. I think it is going to be better than ever.
There's only one way to find out.
Yeah, that's right. So now we will have 2 maps at launch, and one of which we're going to be debuting here live at Call of Duty Next. So, folks, welcome to Liberty Falls.
There's a place just round the bend. A place by the name of Liberty Falls. 1991's fastest growing town in America, and it's plain to see why. It's a place of simple tastes. Neighbors help one another. Where church ain't just for Sundays. So if you're passing this way, be sure to stop on by. We're dying to welcome you.
All right, that superhero stand had laser eyes. What the heck?
Pre-order digitally and instantly unlock the Reflect 115 camo pack in Modern Warfare 3 and Call of Duty
Am I
Warzone.
making the beta codes available? I do not have
Let's
any
kick
beta
things
codes,
off with a
unfortunately.
good old-fashioned
Wish I did.
hell yes, round-based zombies is back. We are welcoming to the desk the Treyarch Zombies team. We've got Kevin Drew, Steve Bianchi, and Anthony Saunders. Guys, that Liberty Falls trailer,
Could always ask
as
for some.
Alex said, it's going to leave a mark.
It's intense. It's incredible,
intense.
right? Yeah.
Small town.
It was peaceful. It's a little more dangerous now.
Yeah, it looked like it would have been a good time out with the family. Now, not so much. You know?
Nuketown is gone and now called Sandhouse.
You know, I feel like I just hit a new level there, but there are 2
No,
awesome
let me see.
round-based zombies maps at launch with Liberty Falls and, of course, Terminus Island, which, you know, we've been talking about over the last few weeks.
Nuketown.
What does it feel like to just have both of these out in the world now?
Oh my God!
to have
Nuketown is
basically
destroyed. The
zombies
map
mark
Sandhouse
where
is
we've
destroyed
got
version of
just
fan
really
favorite
is,
map.
to show off all the hard work the team's been doing for the
Yeah, I
the
missed
last 4
that.
years,
Whoa.
showcasing both maps, very different. We'll get into that.
It's gonna be an interesting map, man.
Yeah, lots of hard work over the years from the Zombies team. And Steve, Liberty Falls kind of feels like a new setting for zombies. Like you said, the small town, it's bright. It feels like a little bit of a different place. What what's this map all about?
Yeah, it's this really idyllic small town. You know, it's in West Virginia, but now it's like the site of a zombie incursion zone. So watch out! It's just destroyed immediately, right? It's crazy, but there's so many details when you look around the map and all these little shops and things like that. It's such a built-out world is great, and there's actually all these little stories about the people who used to live there, and some little side quests that maybe you'll find.
You guys,
relating to
side
them.
quests, never.
So
What?
yeah, well, you gotta wait till it comes out. But, you know, yeah.
And of course, Black Ops 6 is set in 1991. So first look at this map on Liberty Falls. It really seems like we're embracing that early 90s era, where of course we see it all over Black Ops 6, but this has got that nice nostalgia.
Oh yeah. So I mean, Terminus is a little hard to get that 90s vibe when you're in a remote Pacific
A dark prison.
Yeah. I've been to a few prisons in the 90s, so
Liberty Falls is really like where we got to just embrace everything from nostalgia, 90s. I think everyone here was a child when they were in the 90s.
Yes.
And so just to bring all these little elements, so for me, it's like the comic shop, bowling alley, video store.
You remember brick and mortar stores, right?
Some fun.
I used to actually work in a video store in the late 90s, you know, with VHS tapes and all
No
that. So
shot.
make sure
When they
always
existed.
rewind, right? Yeah.
Yeah, be kind
Yep,
and
exactly.
rewind.
Yep.
So you mentioned Terminus, and we know that Terminus is set concurrently, right, with Liberty Falls, because you see the dates and the trailers.
Yes.
So you got people were putting 2 and 2 together on that. What are going to be some of the biggest differences, though, between the Terminus experience versus the Liberty Falls experience?
Yeah, so Terminus, or rather Liberty Falls, has a deceptive calm compared to like the more immediate threat you feel when you load into Terminus. Terminus is dark, it's claustrophobic immediately, so you feel that threat. You know, the brightness of Liberty Falls will have you feeling almost kind of safe, like maybe you could hit up Yummy Freeze, get a couple scoops, but this is zombie
Don't
zone.
tempt me.
Yeah, you know it's not all good. You know, as you explore the map, you'll start to see the signs of the outbreak. You'll see the signs of a failed attempt to contain this thing.
Okay.
So, you know, it'll be everything that you expect. And what we want this to do is like set, you know, we want it to be easy to pick up, you know, but hard to master.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot for players to chew on. It's a smaller map, so again, a lot for players to chew on while they try not to be chewed upon. There you go.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm going to write that one down. But speaking of story, because you kind of hinted at it a little bit, it's a failed attempt at a containment, which means, you know, we got to look at the cinematic earlier this week that's going to set up the map. And there's some spooky things happening in there. You know, we're seeing for the very first time the man himself, Edward Richtofen, since Black Ops Cold War. And he seemingly is going to get yeeted into another dimension here by the ether. What does this mean, Kevin?
Well, you know, I think it's the cinematic, first of all, is incredible, but I don't think this is how we expected to find Richtofen, and it's a bit of a change of expectations. We're not going to give anything away right now.
Okay.
But we're really just setting the groundwork for the game in this cinematic. It's basically whatever you saw at the end there, and Richtofen.
Well, and also too, we see his family. You know, I'm going to make some assumptions here. It seems like they were violently murdered, or there's some sort of very.
I think they just were out at the sun too long.
I hope he doesn't have those nightmares.
No
without
sunblock
that.
on the picnic. That'll do some things to you.
Yeah. So up until now, we've really been framing him up as this villain.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's done terrible things to our crew on Terminus Island. But now we found out some terrible things have happened to him. So it's a bit more gray than you might have initially thought, right?
Yeah, we're adding some complexity.
Yeah, the best villains are always the ones that believe that they're doing the right thing. You know what I mean? There were some really sick moments in that trailer as well. So you can definitely get the vibe that there was. It's going to be pretty wild. I'm excited for it.
And you did talk about the end there. I'm gonna push on a little bit. I'm gonna push on a little bit. You tell me no. Was that a Maxis voice that I heard there?
No, and you could make some assumptions there. If you played the end of Cold War, some things happened that really kind of translate here, and you can kind of connect the points.
So is that what you would suggest players start if they want to get into the story?
While we're waiting, if you want to jump into Cold War, it's a great time to go check out those main quests and
I've
get
been doing
ready.
it.
The story.
Yeah, I've been replaying Cold War Zombies. But all right, we're headed right into Zombies gameplay here. But a few quick things for those of you watching at home. We are spoiler-free today. We do not want to ruin the moment. Play it at launch. So the main quest and all the Easter eggs are actually turned off. And of course, the dedicated crew is back in round-based zombies in Black Ops 6. But since Liberty Falls happens concurrently with Terminus, dedicated crew is busy. They're trying to break out of prison, so they're not at Liberty Falls. We're going to see a different set of characters played by the folks here on that map today.
Yeah, and so, well, should be waiting any minute now to be jumping into the action, but it seems like once that's good to go, Black Ops 6 Zombies is live. There you have it, and we are in to the action. We're going to be sticking around with this one for a little bit, talking about what we're going to be seeing, and I mean, I'm just excited to have round-based zombies back. That is going to be really exciting. Just fun, just, you know, kind of to see how far you can climb, right? That's always the gimmick, you know what I mean? You want to see how far you can go on that one.
So guys, yeah, we're already at round 10. Where on the map are we right now?
This is the bank here, so they're inside. You can actually get up on the roof of here too. We call this the Alamo. It's like the last holdout that they had here, Project Janus. So it's actually where you'll find the Wonder Fizz inside here. Yeah, we have Juggernaut. This is kind of the classic central point of the map. So there's a lot of good things, a lot of connections you can make between the two major sections here.
So we see we're in this mission right now, Liberty Falls. Who's your handler? You know, like what's the goal of the Liberty Falls mission?
Right. So we actually got introduced to our handler in the cinematic, John Blanchard, and he's the head of Janus Security.
Okay.
You know, Rick Toppin told him, lock it down, try to protect Liberty Falls. As we see here, they didn't really succeed. So you enter as an outside group, and he mistakes you as part of Project Janus. So he starts to team up with you and guide you along to try to salvage the situation, see if anyone's still alive.
Okay.
Figure out what's going on. Really just try to contain.
But you said that he assumes that you are a part of the group.
So you might not be.
It might not be.
Oh.
Yeah.
TBD.
Okay. All right. That is. I'm quite curious to see how that story plays out with there, but that's gonna be pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have someone in the bowling alley here. This is Liberty Lanes, and there's my guy, Mr. Peaks. Little neon, Mr. Peaks on the wall.
Great place to do some training there on the bowling lanes.
Oh,
around
and we're crafting. We're at the crafting table.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, so Crafty's
All
back.
kinds of goodies.
You can make support, which is mostly score streaks, but a self-revive. We're actually limiting how many self-revives you can craft in a game now to 3.
So only 3 per match.
Make it a little tougher and higher rounds, less opportunities.
I definitely needed that. I needed.
Oh,
yeah.
here's our first abomination.
Okay.
And he's gone.
I mean, that ray gun is. You can always leave it up to the ray gun. Yeah.
Somebody, of course, they go lock out the ray gun.
So the ray gun has a new look that we're.
Yeah, so the
later.
weapons team did an amazing job. They remodeled the weapon and gave it a huge polish pass. So, like the weapon inspect, it looks amazing. You actually see the cartridges as you reload.
There's a lot more animations when he's firing it too. You could see it was revolving around there. So it's really neat. Yeah.
I'm sure we're going to get another ray gun look as we get further into Liberty Falls. Benny Central here, round 11.
Yeah. Now, something I'm curious about, because the world looks very lived in. It's got a lot of, you know, it seems like it has a lot of layers to it, and there's a story to be told in the map itself, right? So, you know, what is like being in this map? Like, how does this relate to the players? Like, what are there going to be some goodies that they could find around here? Like, what do we have?
Yeah, you know, we have an epic main quest here in this map that you'll be able to experience when it comes out. And, you know, as part of that, we are really upping the challenge this time around. So I think people will be pleasantly surprised of what they need to do to kind of do, you know, challenge their skills and their puzzle solving abilities. But, you know, we also have some really cool rewards for that as well. So we have new operator skins, and actually for the first time, Wonder Weapon skins as well.
Wonder Weapon skins. That is something that I think people are going to be
The ability to make your ray gun look like a different ray gun.
Yeah.
We're
Isn't it the
super
first time
excited
they've
for the
had
day one hunt, you know,
skins,
on this map.
right?
Everyone's
Am I
really
tripping?
stoked working on the map. We can't wait.
Yeah, I'm not going to get a lot of work done that day.
the
I gotta
first
be
time
honest
they've
with
had
you guys.
skins for
If
Wonder
you're looking for
Weapons.
anything,
Is that
I'm
what
going to
it
be
is?
busy.
You can definitely also see the Omni movement as well playing a role in this too, right? That has to add a different layer to this, because now, you know, before you're like,
The reload animation is really accurate now.
But now you can just like
With the M16
slide
or
back.
M4.
Yeah, you can just
It's a
move away.
full auto
Has that
M16, I'm
added
pretty sure.
some fun layers to the zombies experience?
I'd say definitely with
Car
PhD
15,
flopper, you
whatever
can
you
see up
wanna
on
call
the hill there. You grab that, you run and jump down, do an awesome back dive and explode, and it's great. It's really cool. The movement makes it so fluid to get around.
You can run backwards now, but there might be zombies behind you, so it's not necessarily an advantage.
It's safe to assume there are zombies anywhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I think-
actually, we have third-person mode.
Yes,
in
and we're
zombies
seeing it
now.
right here.
There you go.
Oh,
so
snap.
That's kind of a nice way, if you're able to play like this, to get a little bit more, you know, awareness behind you.
Wow, I did not realize that. That is actually really cool. And then you can also see just like the wild slides.
We're showing off.
It shows off Omni movement really well.
Yeah. No, that's pretty damn awesome. So now, in terms of main quest, can we confirm here that they're like every map is going to have like a main quest at launch?
Definitely.
Yeah?
We'll have both at the launch. Both these maps will have main quests that we're super stoked for people to play. We've been putting a lot of effort in, saying tuning and balancing these things. So it's going to be a good challenge. We can't wait.
Should we be expecting that difficulty to be climbing up and again harder and harder?
Yeah, I think we're always trying.
It's
tough when the world is trying to solve a single puzzle, but you know, it's like we always want to make sure the steps are intuitive, but it's hard to discover initially. It's an interesting balance, and we always give it a shot every time. And trying to hone
challenge your skills too, right?
Of course.
Yeah. Ultimately, we want more people to dive into the main quests and enjoy the narrative, discover the narrative in Zombies. Anthony, what have you got for players who might be newer to Zombies with Black Ops 6?
Yeah, so in BO6 we have what we're calling directed mode, which as the name suggests, will help direct the players through the main quest. What we've done is allow the quest, or rather the rounds, to progress as the player opens up the map and completes the quest. So as they finish steps, the rounds will ramp up. It'll help keep things under control. We've given it a general cap of round 15, so things will never get too crazy for the players.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're really excited about that.
So if you've never really dived into the Zombies experience before, that is like the best way to do it, to like acclimate yourself to that to that gameplay.
Yeah, I know. I think we all know someone that has just either been intimidated or just hasn't been able to get into the main quest because of the difficulty, and we're hoping that this will be a good on-ramp for them.
Oh, we're seeing a trap.
It's Etherella.
Just in.
Etherella.
Yep.
So this is a new trap just on Liberty Falls.
Yeah.
Tell us about Etherella here.
This is a life-size action figure here from a comic book, right? That actually you can fire this up, and she blasts zombies with her laser death beam eyes here. But you gotta watch out there, because your head could get clipped too. So be sure to crouch.
Big guy was taking some shots there.
Big guy was taking some collateral damage.
You don't want to hang out in the comic book on top of the counter there. You might get blasted during that. But there's great witty comments as part of that as well. It's really fun. And there's another trap they might come across here as well. The Dark Ether Field Trap is around here, and that's a really cool project. Janice set those up. And actually, it'll slow down and dissolve zombies actually when they're in there. And you can kind of
we love dissolving zombies.
And lure them, but you don't want to linger there too long either. It's going to impact you after a little bit of time. So those are really fun too.
A good zombie. Yeah, a good zombie dissolving goes a long way for the soul.
Rampage
Now, I understand as well, because there are a lot of new things that are going to come into zombies. It looks so fun.
Somebody's got the jet gun.
Somebody's got the jet gun. Okay, so
speaking of
Hutch, one of the OGs, we could talk about this. Every map has its own unique wonder weapon in Black Ops 6.
Yes.
What are we looking at here?
This is the jet gun, right, for this map. This is a favorite returning, maybe fan favorite from Transit that we're actually boosting up here, and you're not gonna break it apart now, right? Like last time, you're gonna actually keep it. It just overheats. So once you construct it, you have it. So obviously, if people haven't played it before, it's made from a big jet engine. So it's gonna suck in all these zombies, chop them up, kind of spit them out the back end of that. You can actually pull in, salvage, stuff like power-ups. We have weapons and things like that too. If you get, so it's really fun to use that weapon, just cranking through the zombies. But it also has a new specialty blast that you can do and charge up, and it fires off. And
that's sick.
In case of emergency, break glass type scenario.
Yeah, for sure. Well, like I said, a lot of new things that are going to be coming to this. We just saw even things that are returning that are getting a fresh coat of paint on it. But also, I want to talk about the new perk machines as well, because there's one name in particular that I absolutely love, the Melee Macchiato. It's just too good. What is it? What can you tell us about it?
So this perk machine is new, and it is everything that is 90s. We've got grunge rock, we've got boxing, we've got coffee. So
coffee shops, what's
coffee
better?
Shops.
Yeah.
So Melee
called a cup of Kino. Wait till you see what it costs. Nice.
You drink it, it replaces your gun butt with this lethal punch, sends zombies flying. really fun to use. It also ties in nicely with our dedicated melee, which is also coming to zombies. So when you bring your baseball bat and your knife in, it buffs the damage for that as well. So it's a really nice perk, especially early rounds to get a kind of a heads
here's the armor buy.
Yeah.
Which is new.
Yeah, so we've moved armor
I just
as wall
saw
buys
that on
instead of, it used to get it, you'd have to get it from
Darlick JD's stream.
And so now it's such an important thing. That we thought we wanted to get that out there at the level, and it's
I don't know why they're not
core
switching to
progression,
JD.
right? You're deciding, do I want to get Jug or do I want to get tier 2 armor?
Yeah,
right?
and
that kind of thing.
and that can obviously, you know, like be
like
your undoing
solo.
ultimately, or it could be the thing that bails you out in the end, right?
Prepare accordingly.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
But it's not just about all of the new things coming to Zombie, because we
got some
actually have
people
some
still
really
playing
awesome
multiplayer
things
if you guys want to watch
from previous
multiplayer.
Zombies experiences that have that exciting twist on top, and one of those things that's hugely important
Korean Savage.
is Gobblegums.
We got Tim the Tat Man.
So
still
we might have seen it somewhere around here, but we've got several Gobblegum
He keeps
machines
raging.
in the world.
Tim the Tat Man keeps
Gobblegums
raging
are a
and leaving
consumable
different
buff
matches.
system that was first introduced in Black Ops 3.
What
They're
else is
really
new?
fun.
Let's
You
stick on
use them
zombies
and
for
you
now,
kind of
though,
break
if that's
the
cool.
rules. It gives you little really powerful abilities for a little bit of a time, or kind of progresses your growth. We made a lot of improvements
just let me
this
know in the
game,
chat
so
if you
you're
want me to
still,
change it.
you always have to earn things in zombies, so it's still important. You, you make your pack in the front end, but once you get in, you still have to go to these machines.
He's looking for Easter eggs so
free every
bad, man.
round.
They got Easter eggs turned off. They got the main story turned off.
As you play, as rounds turn, you always have a chance to earn a gun.
JD is looking for any clues
What's
that he
new
can.
and really cool is we actually allow you to take 3 and store them on yourself. So you can actually kind of strategize or make combos and decide how to use them. It uses the score streak menu, very similar to MP. So if you're familiar with that, kind of sorting between those, you can do it here.
Yeah.
Really excited to see how people are going to kind of
Just feels like you guys
configure
are
these things.
doing such a great job of just making sure that like the person who only plays multiplayer can go over to zombies and also feel at home with like some of the mechanics that kind of transfer over, which I think is really cool. Yeah.
I mean, that's the awesome thing, especially about like Omni movement, the global systems that are coming. We have we called out the HUD presets earlier, which you'll be able to see in zombies as well. Dedicated melee. We've got plenty of stuff.
So much of the stuff we do at the core is so buttery smooth. It's like we want to bring that over into zombies.
You're making me hungry. We're talking about coffee and butter. And maybe it's something about watching the zombies try to eat you that's
yeah, it's a little bit of that. But it's a different kind of hunger.
Yeah.
A bit more evil.
So Kevin, augments are also a huge new thing coming to zombies
What type
in
of
Black
aim
Ops
is that,
6.
dude?
And
Chill out. Just
I've
aim
heard
and
this
shoot,
referred
bro.
to as build crafting a little bit. You get the combos going. You know, how's this going to work?
You were
so
trying
this is
so
the
hard
evolution
and
of
you
the
died.
permanent progression system that we introduced in
trying
Core. This
so
idea that
hard.
the longer you play zombies, you get to power up your abilities, your field upgrades, your perks, your ammo mods, make them
quick aiming
more
over and
powerful.
over
What's
and over
different
again,
this
it
time
still
around
gets
is you're unlocking augments, and there's 6 per category of content.
This
So
dude's
you
in
have
third person
minors
right
and
now.
majors, and you can equip
Hutch
one of each.
is in third
And the idea
person.
here
What
is
the hell?
that depending on what you're trying to do in the game, whether it's high rounds,
That was
playing as
sick.
a group, going for the main quest, right? That's really going to impact how you build
Those skins
your,
look stupid,
your
though.
augments and what
Gonna
you
be
set.
honest,
And so
on a Wonder
ultimately,
Weapon.
you're making your
Looks dumb.
Juggernog your Juggernog.
Yeah.
Your Juggernog.
It's my Juggernog.
Yeah.
Your Juggernog is not like mine, or maybe it is.
Maybe it is. I'm a support player.
Nice.
So maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
But there's over 100 of these to unlock, and it's going to be a very lengthy journey to unlock all of them. So, yeah, just really excited
you
to see
toggle
like, what
third-person
combos
mode?
people
Is
come
that
up
what's
with
happening?
and builds.
That way Hutch-
Yeah.
Just
So
Because earlier
one
Hutch
thing
was
that I
first
always
person.
loved when at the studio when
What
you
the
guys
hell is
talk
going on?
about the making of Black Ops 6, sort of these set of core pillars that the game was built
Oh, no,
around,
he's
and one of
spectating
those
'cause he
is
died.
become
Is it?
monster.
No?
And
He's
that's something
playing.
that's interwoven across the entire game. But
He's playing.
you
He's not
folks on the
spectating.
Zombies team said, "Hey, we'll take that literally," and that seems like how we got Mutant Injection.
Yeah, it's a blast, right? So yeah, here we have it. You inject yourself, and you actually can become a mangler for a limited amount of time, and you just plow through zombies and
Oh my
chop
goodness.
I
them
wonder
up
if we
and
got you
blast
into a
them. It's
mangler
great,
and
you know?
just got
And
stuck in third
We've been
person.
wanting to do this for a really long time, and the animators actually showed us like, hey, check this out. Like, let's do this. Let's make this happen in this game. So we're like, Yeah, so this is the first score
Unreal.
streak that's really meant for zombies, and it's just such a blast to play.
Also, you can
So
hear
fun.
it, the maniacal laughter
Yes.
coming from the. He's like, you know.
I think I feel like it's like being a chopper gunner on the ground. Like you're a living chopper gunner. It's like that level of power. And
I think you said yesterday too, like the mangler on mangler crime. If you use mutant injection on another, on a mangler.
The battle, it's great. And the VO that he says is great during that too. It's hilarious.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Gotta see that.
No, for sure, for sure. All right, well, there's other things to talk about here as well. Kevin, why don't you go ahead and tell us about the Arsenal as well, and like what
I don't know,
should we
man. I don't
expect
think people are going to be happy
so
with
we've really streamlined the
everything
Arsenal this
being
game.
mixed.
And
I mean,
also kind of given
it's
it
a
glow
nice
up.
sentiment to
It's,
show everything.
It'll be
kitchen
found on the
sink,
level. It's a one-stop
including
shop
the
for weapon
kitchen sink,
upgrades. It's where you spend your
round-based
salvage
zombies.
to upgrade rarity and apply ammo mods. What's also really
But,
cool though is this time it's
man, I
kind
think
of
eventually
got
you
an
keep adding
AI
stuff, it's gonna feel like a mess.
drill and sergeant.
Okay.
And it will actually
Functionality-wise.
kind of call you out if it notices that you run nearby it. If your weapon's underpowered, it might be like kind of shout at you.
Yeah, I love it when my NPC shows me, you know?
Get over here and upgrade. Because it's really important to kind of keep up with the power band as these zombies get harder and harder.
Yeah, we just heard someone wail
I just
on
heard
the
someone
other side.
scream at no behind us. So
That's how you know they were in a good run.
they might have hit that death animation that we've been hoping to see.
Oh, nice.
Oh man, and this the abomination is just horrifying.
Oh, yeah,
I
just keep
am
cutting
not
out,
looking-
man.
There's like one outside too.
That's what I want
right?
to see is you guys on the board.
Massive
I don't
one.
want to see
Hey,
anybody
there's just so
stream. No,
much.
of
There's
course
so
not.
much to
We're gonna
talk
switch
about. We're going to be
Dominic
talking
JD.
about it. Don't worry, folks. Plenty to yap about when it comes to zombies.
I'm sure there is plenty to yap about. I'm going to turn on Dalek.
There's the Arsenal machine where you can get ammo mods, and it also talks to you. There we go. Right, I'm feeling a little bit stronger now, but still.
He's on round 8. He's been exploring so much. Trying to find Easter eggs. I got Easter eggs and story turned off. So you can't
Okay, let's go
actually do
open
them
through here.
because they don't want to do spoilers.
Wow. Tell me this isn't giving a transit bowling
Yes.
alley
Heavy transit.
sort of vibe right now. Got stamina up. Can we prone?
Go into
Boys
the
can.
bank. Go into the bank on this
I
mode.
feel like this could be a
Turn it
really
down.
bad place to get stuck in. A really bad place. We've got the mystery box. Oh my god. Oh wow. Zombies are just chilling. In the bowling lanes.
Yeah, when you go to the bank,
This is Mr. Peaks' own bowling
think about transit. It's literally like the same bank. It's just upgraded or remastered, whatever you want to put it. I hope he goes into the bank so you guys can see what I'm talking about. It's pretty crazy. I really hope we get a transit remaster.
Absolute crash. I mean, we'll take it. It's green. It's as good as our normal gun. I have 200 health. It looks like I have 150 health. I'm going to need to obviously get a 2-plate vest somewhere, and then obviously upgrade that to 3-plate. Okay, so we have quotes. These characters aren't soullessly and you know, they speak.
Tell him he needs to go to the bank so you can see it. No, don't get murked, dude. Nice. Oh, there you go. Get that instant.
I'm trying to work out like if you can like if the zombies like rubber band around, you can like easily train around them, you know. I mean the movement is definitely very slick and smooth. Police training up zombies. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, here, shields up. I mentioned this in my videos, but like the armor system being like Warzone is something that's a little strange to get used to. I cannot lie. A little strange. Alright, but we are getting near to getting enough for Pack-a-Punch. And I'm pretty sure the Pack-a-Punch camo is like insane on this.
Nope. Nope.
But so, first impressions, this map's actually a lot smaller than I was expecting. Like, I was expecting it to be quite a big map. Terminus is a massive map. complaining.
What do we have next here? Because we got a lot of good stuff here to dive into.
Yeah, we talked about Wonder Weapons a little bit. You guys got a quick look at the Wunderwaffe. Wunderwaffe, which we have all been arguing about, which is the correct way. I think I'm siding with the internet. I'm saying
I just call it the DG2 because I can barely grasp the English language.
But every map will have its own unique wonder weapon. We got a quick look at the Thrustodyne, but let's go back and have another look here.
The Thrustodyne.
AKA the jet gun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I love that it's called the Thrustodyne, but in its core, it's just a giant jet engine. It's just gonna devour people.
Model 23, you know, it's like, what were those other 22 models?
Yeah.
Makes you wonder.
It truly makes you wonder what that first version looked like,
and we saw
the person who used it.
We saw in gameplay a little bit, but of course, we still have.
There's that blast attack.
Oh yeah, the blast attack is real. We still have Old Faithful is there, so we got a quick look at the ray gun, but the ray gun has had a bit of a makeover.
Yeah,
there
look how
she is.
Good it looks.
So
the weapons
cool.
team knocked it out of the park.
That reload animation is so sick.
So cool. It's
Man.
like, and it rotates, right?
Yeah. The back spins, it rotates. You know, you can
tell
it's
like just
beautiful.
again a lot of work was put into that. A lot of care was put into that. So you know, to the whole team.
Can't wait till you see the Wonder Weapon skin for it. You know, I can show it
boy.
now, but
we saw a few skins for it as well. I think some people were running around with it.
There's Pack-a-Punch for both of them in there now, right?
Oh,
Which is great. The jet gun can Pack-a-Punch too, right?
Complete the main quest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see what it
Maybe
looks
you'll
like.
see what that looks like, you know?
Now, you really can't talk about the Wunda weapons without mentioning the iconic Wunderwaffe, aka the DG2. And for all those Call of Duty collectors out there, we actually have something pretty dope to show you. Check this out.
Oh,
Bam.
there she is.
Boom. Now, not exactly, you know, this is obviously a smaller version of it. A little half scale of it here, of the Wunderwaffe DG2 replica that is now available for pre-order on the Call of Duty shop. And we saw Richtofen use the DG2 in the Liberty Falls cinematic and use it in a lot of creative ways as well, might I add.
Reloading with a zombie's head.
Yeah, you know, that just seemed like a thing to do in the moment, right? Very cool thing to do. But of course, this right here is going to be a perfect shelf companion for, you know, your ray gun collectible that released last year. And I want this, so
I mean,
I'm going to take it.
Kevin said it best earlier, is like, be like Richtofen, keep it next to your bed. You never know what trouble is lurking.
You got like a camo with this too, right? So you also get something else on top of it. So guys, come on, get out
An
there.
actual camo you can use in-game for buying the Wunderwaffe on the COD shop.
Yes.
Yeah, that is pretty darn cool. All right, folks. Well, with Black Ops 6 around the corner, now is the perfect time to grab this new addition to your Call of Duty collection. Of course, only available on shop.callofduty.com while supplies last. But that's not the only way to get your hands on one of these bad boys right here. Because Miles, tell us what you got for the people watching today. Let them know.
More Wunderwaffens?
Wunderwaffe, yes. You at home can have a chance to win one of 5 Black Ops 6 Zombies Wunderwaffe DG2s. All you have to do is go to X/Twitter and send a tweet with the hashtags #COD NEXT, #Black Ops 6, and #Wunderwaffe Sweepstakes, and you'll be entered to win one of the 5 half-scale collectibles. Chris, das ist gut.
Yeah, I'm doing it right now, and I'm a little bit lazier than you, so I'm just going to scan this QR code. That's going to help me pre-draft everything, and then I can just tag you and tell you how much better I am at Call of Duty Zombies.
Oh, zombies. Hey, we got to 28 the other day. It was pretty rocking. How about you at home, folks? Are you ready to get into the zombies action? Here, in Call of Duty's Black Ops 6 Zombies. Absolute shenanigans here in DC. Save us, Golden Boy.
They're having way too much fun with that elevated camera.
That stage is so good.
Yeah,
I am obsessed with it.
All right. Well, look, guys, and I know there was a lot to talk about here. Briefly, I did want to touch on real fast because we had talked about directed mode real quick. But just wanted, I know you guys wanted to emphasize something real fast.
Which want to call it, that is actually going to be happening after the launch. So we want to make sure we have that initial window for all of our dedicated audience to go solve that main quest the old-fashioned way.
Got it.
And the idea is, at the start of Season 1, directed mode will come out, and thereafter in seasons. to open it up for more people to experience.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You want people to, feel like, they can discover what they want to discover, but at the same time be able to introduce new players to the Zombies experience, because everyone should play Zombies.
Yeah,
It's freaking awesome.
At that point, too, you group up with your friends who might have done it already.
Yeah.
Bring them on, get your new friends involved.
Unique rewards.
Maybe join join the hunt.
Yeah.
The next time around, once you got your feet wet.
So we saw this a little bit earlier in the show, but I am very excited to talk progression challenges coming to Zombies, which includes some incredibly mastery camos that you're seeing on screen now. Kevin.
Here's our time to shine. These zombie mastery camos are equally awesome as the MP. This one's Afterlife, looks incredible, but I am really excited about Nebula. This thing, when you fire it, it actually kind of heats up in a way,
that looks cool.
and it just becomes more dynamic the longer you fire it, and it feels like
So
you're
good.
like, I don't know, weaponizing the cosmos.
I like that. That is a phrase right there. Weaponizing the cosmos for success.
Reticle challenges and the Dark Ops challenges also coming to Zombies, plus the camo track. The camo grind is almost here. I can taste it.
Yeah.
And Prestige shared across all modes.
Classic Prestige across every mode.
And that is just really, really cool. So there's so much, just so many cool things to talk about here today. But look, if you're like me, I've been oohing and on at all the nice juicy camos that we've been seeing here today. And I mean, again, you have so much that you can lean on here. Make sure you guys are out there, digitally pre-order Black Ops 6, or you can subscribe to select Game Pass plans and get the Reflect 115 camo pack. Of course, playable immediately in Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone. And these look really cool. I mean, just the visual is just striking in of itself there, Steph. Pretty dope.
I already have these.
Yeah.
I'm going to go home and play with them.
I don't doubt it. You have probably everything.
Yeah.
Your inventory is probably wild.
I play a lot of this game, needless to say, but it's another really cool thing coming to Black Ops 6. Zombies are evolving enemies. Kevin first described this to me as zombie popcorn, which is really gross. But
Changes
Anthony,
popcorn forever for me.
Yeah, Anthony, tell us how these work.
Yeah, so basically we have what's the start of an evolutionary chain represented in the parasite and the vermin. And basically these things will pop out of zombies dynamically throughout an engagement. So kind of switch it up for you. You know, you think you're clearing your horde, and all of a sudden a giant head pops off and turns into a spider and comes after you. And so you have to kind of change where you're aiming. You know, it mixes things up, keeps it interesting, keeps it challenging. You have to look down, look up. So, yeah, it really just switches things up for you.
Because if there's one thing that we all needed, it's more ways for things to kill us.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
I mean, really, it's just more creative ways.
Never
Evolutionary.
enough ways to die. Never enough ways to die.
And you think these are terrifying, there's more on the way.
Just wait till the live
bro.
season.
We got stuff for you.
Yeah,
for sure.
man,
Oh,
it's just
man.
nasty.
There are more coming. And speaking of things to come, Treyarch team, we've obviously got 2 awesome maps at launch, but what can you tell us? What do you got in store for us and beyond that in the live seasons?
So what I could say is that the next map is going to be coming by the end of this year.
Oh!
And that is going to be
round-based zombies map.
really setting the tone for how all-in and round-based we are this year.
Yeah, that's quite significant. I mean, you're just so many options for ways to be able to play. That has to feel pretty good for you guys and the team to be able to deliver so much like this.
It feels amazing.
Yeah, I'm personally I think we're all just really stoked about all the maps that we're going to come with. Everything just helps kind of tell the story and just pair all the maps themselves pair with the story we're trying to tell. So yeah, we're all really excited.
So excited about it.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
there we go.
This is a mutant injection, is it not?
Indeed
Yes,
it
it
is.
is.
Oh my word! You can see him go, oh yeah!
Yeah.
It's like the Kool-Aid Man on steroids.
I like his nod of approval.
He might be. I mean, he's all the way in 21, so Ink Slasher is retreating here as we're seeing.
We're not even getting to the rounds where it gets hard yet.
Yeah, and I'm seeing, so there is like a time frame that you have for it, so I can't just go and live out my destructive fantasies unlimited.
coming back out
Limited
now.
time.
For a limited time only. Get it while it's hot. Oh man, that is so cool. It just looks absolutely devastating. That would be such a fun way to just clear massive waves of zombies.
Yep. You want to hold on to it for the right time when you really need that, and then
Look at
pop
that
that
scorpion.
and go for it. Wow.
Awesome.
Oh, we got ourselves a check on again.
Oh, no, that's a mangler cannon.
Oh, wait, that's the mangler?
Yeah.
So if
man.
If you shoot the mangler cannon off of a mangler, he has a chance to drop this thing. You can pick it up and get a couple shots, or you can go craft it as well. So it's another kind of a smaller way to get some zombies.
Spend your salvage,
Yeah.
get the mangler cannon, or find it. Maim a mangler.
All sorts of ways to kill zombies.
Oh man, well I tell you, it really has been awesome to see all the things that are coming to zombies. And like I said before, it really just feels like you can feel the enthusiasm. I can tell, having talked to you guys, you know, behind the scenes, of how much you love this, and it just comes across, you know, to the game that you guys have created, but also to how you guys passionately talk about it. So thank you.
Yeah,
It's so much fun.
It was a pleasure being here. We're excited.
Yeah, Round-Based Zombies is back. Thank you, Treyarch team. It's been incredible to see everyone here at Call of Duty Next playing Liberty Falls, our first ever gameplay of Liberty Falls. It's been an absolute blast having you guys on the desk with us. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us here on the broadcast now. But folks, when we come back, we're going to be diving into some live Resurgence gameplay on the brand new map. We're revealing for a new chapter of Warzone. And of course, we're going to be joined by both Treyarch and Raven here at the desk. So make sure you stay tuned. Warzone's coming up right after this, folks. Don't go anywhere.
All right, time for Warzone.
Experience the world of Call of Duty with Corsair, the official gaming hardware and peripheral partner of Call of Duty. Introducing the Call of Duty Black Ops 6 collaboration from Movement. Get early access with email sign up at movement.com/COD. Call of Duty Next is powered by Xfinity. Stay ahead of the game with ultra-fast speeds and a smooth, low-lag connection. Operators, get ready to unleash a force of nature with Polaris Razor Pro R, dropping into Call of Duty Warzone in Season 1. Change your game. Scuff Gaming, the official controller partner of Call of Duty. Take your Call of Duty gameplay to the next level with Nanoleaf's modular RGB smart lights. Step into the game and sync your lights with the action on screen for the highest level of gaming immersion. Origin. Customize your PC. Official gaming PC and gaming laptop of Call of Duty.
This is very dangerous, dude. I mean, movement-wise, I didn't even hit it. There we go. Movement-wise, this feels incredible, incredibly smooth. Yeah, what do we get? What do we get? Nothing good, clearly. It's green. Nope. Right, come on, a bomb. Come on. He looks significantly upgraded from NWC though. There's his laser, and there you go, he's gone. Oh, wait, did that drop something? That dropped a heart. Proper gunner. And the loot key, but that looked like a better loot key than what we had before. I need to find where to use this.
I know, Vice, that's what I'm saying, bro.
So this is how a gambling addiction starts. We're doing Warzone. We ain't doing Warzone. We ain't doing Warzone.
Man, I was excited about, you know, the zombies and the map looks
I
dope.
didn't realize you could climb up this.
But
Like,
they do like this kill streak
everything's,
stuff
like,
on the
super
map.
clear.
So when you use it, your
Super clean
buddy's
and
got to
very-
guard you. It's not going to be
I mean,
applicable when
probably can
everything
get
gets
over
way
there
too
as well.
intense.
Yeah, don't worry, guys. We ain't
Adding
playing
kill
Warzone.
streaks and zombies, it's like, oh, it sounds cool for like 2
Not
seconds.
until
but
like the game, until like I die.
they're just
or
trying
the
to
game
throw
ends.
everything but the
We'll reboot
kitchen
another game.
sink
I ain't come all
at
this
this
way
game in hopes
to not play
that
War,
more
to play
will be
Warzone.
considered more, but nah, man, less is more. Just wanted a decent round-based zombies with cool maps.
Okay, I
Maybe
need to
some
be
cool
looking at some
weapons.
sort of little notes around the map. Help us with this vault. I don't think I can just guess
I
it.
think he's working right now, unfortunately, so he's going to get off at around It's gonna get off in like 2 hours,
Give up,
maybe an
Ceres,
hour,
come on, we
maybe an
need
hour
to
and a
get
half
the
will be
jet gun
off.
now. Come on. Please.
No, I'm just fumbling through back and forth on the streams, looking at the showcase.
The bank, there was
I
a
don't
door.
really care what they have to say. He's still
What,
on
in here,
multiplayer.
just
Team
now?
Tatman's still on
There's a
multiplayer.
vault. This could be a good. This could be the meta shotgun, to be honest. The fact that we already know where stuff
Korean
is
Savage.
from just watching someone play it is actually kind of wild. Yeah, there's a bank vault. Let's continue looking around the map. There's a few more places that we've not opened.
Oh, I'm between work right now, trying to start a
Yummy
business.
Green.
So I guess you could say sales.
Only like tight little corridors.
selling
You
stuff.
need to. Wait, let's read that again.
I did do gun shows for a little while.
You need to find me. Who's that?
It wasn't my supply. I was working on behalf of another company.
Yeah, there's also somewhere in the spawn that we didn't open. Let's go check that out. Kind of weird you drop down and then like, when do we climb up here?
It's funny because
Oh.
the business that I'm starting, my two buddies that are helping me with the business, they went in.
That's great. We can just buy a zip.
They're both accountants,
Oh, no,
so
yeah, okay.
they're pretty familiar with
Check the table in front
financial
of the vault.
analysis.
Go back to the bank.
Which
there's
is
a number on the
why
paper on
I
the
teamed
table.
up with
We're
them
Easter egg hunting
in the
boys.
first place. JD
Yeah, I'm
is
getting
still looking
confused.
for
Let's
clues
get back
so
to the
hard,
bank.
man. Because they turned off all the Easter eggs, so he's still searching.
Okay, it's a piece of paper on the table. Oh.
You know, I didn't get to play much of
That
Black
it?
Ops 4 Zombies, but I heard it was really good, so I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. They were like the last two maps
Oh,
I played in
4-2.
Cold War were not very
4-2
good.
something.
The first map was
Okay.
fun.
We got
but-
4-2.
No, all right, so
Can I
like
pop
the
that
bank
in?
and stuff in this game.
But without knowing where we go for the rest.
If you look at the bank, and then you go back and look at transit, it's the same bank. It's just the transit one has more stuff like in the middle of the room.
Okay. We got
But
that
it's
one
the
right. but
It's
we need
the
to go
same
find where
bank.
the
You
others
can enter
are.
from the side in transit.
Interesting.
If they
I'm getting
tease,
extremely unlucky
you
with this
know,
mystery box though, because the higher in the
structural
rounds you
things
are,
from
the more
transit, and then we don't get
likely you're
transit, I'm gonna be
supposed to get
pissed.
better stuff out of the box. Okay, purple pistol though.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I definitely think they get like extra hints and stuff like that. I think that was confirmed at one point, that they get extra hints to help them glide through the Easter egg. But they're like for initial Easter eggs. But there are definitely Easter eggs in
We've got
there
my open with Gug. Okay,
that they
I'll check
don't
that.
give them
I'll
hints
check that
for.
out. Oh wait, no, you might be slightly behind because we've just.
I forget who broke this
just gotta
down,
look
but
through
they,
there. Pick bowling alley
they
counters?
basically
Yeah,
showed like
good
Jason
shout.
Blundell, for instance.
Get like a crawler made.
Would try to make certain parts of the Easter egg super hard and then make extra storyline Easter eggs like that are outside of the storyline of the main quest, I should say. Extra
Okay, 2 zombies left.
outside
Right,
of the
let's
quest,
see.
not the
So
storyline.
obviously it's going to be like a piece of paper.
And they wouldn't give them any hints for those, and
And
they
it's going to have
to
2
find them. And
gaps.
some of them never
and
got
then
found.
more numbers.
Moon's Easter egg was pretty insane. Shangri-La's Easter egg was also really, really fun and interesting, even though that map was
again.
beyond brutal.
Need stamina up. Yeah, I definitely. I feel it. That's pretty good. But I do want to keep hitting the box.
Alpha team, exfil window closed.
I like Dissension's Easter egg as well.
Already found the table next to the vault door, like we've seen.
Yeah,
that. We've
me
got
too.
That. That
I'm
looks
missing
kinda
too.
Suspicious.
I think a lot of people do.
Bear in mind, guys, they've supposed to disabled a lot of Easter eggs, so I don't. I'm sure like this is probably not that important.
Skype
if we
just did a
are able to
video
open it.
recently. Basically,
But I really want to get the jet gun, so I'm gonna keep going for that.
he did a video recently showing an Easter egg that hadn't been uncovered for like 8 years or whatever, and it was one of Jason Blundell's last super secret Easter eggs.
Really good.
From like Black Ops 3 or something. I think there's more. I guarantee there's more Easter eggs that people haven't found, including in like campaign and stuff. I guarantee there's campaign Easter eggs that haven't been uncovered in Black Ops 3 because Black Ops 3 was not a good campaign and not too many people wanted to waste too much time exploring it. So if there was anything hidden in there, it wouldn't have to be hidden very well for it to stay hidden because people just didn't like that campaign.
It's always the way. I'm always so unlucky when it comes to the mystery box. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
We're not going up here
Good
yet
thing I
as
don't
well.
have to buy
Let's
this
see,
game.
let's
I can just play the
explore.
campaign and then dip if I don't like the multiplayer.
Bank roof, people saying? Yeah, it's
Gotta
a
play the
good-
beta though.
Good shout.
I'm gonna
Bank
stream the
roof.
beta.
Can we even get inside there?
I just hate that like when you grab an enemy as a shield in the campaign,
What the heck are you doing there?
it's
Also,
first
I feel
person.
like there
When
could
you
be
grab an
something
enemy to
here.
use them as a human shield in multiplayer, they make you go third person. This is not a third person multiplayer. It's FPS, dude. That just bugs me. That bugs me to some ridiculous extent. Like beyond what's necessary. I know, but man.
There's a table next to the vault door.
To be
so let's go
honest,
check that
Cold
out.
War multiplayer I liked more than Modern Warfare 2019's multiplayer and Modern Warfare 2022's multiplayer. Modern Warfare 2023, I think they got the movement pretty good, and of course the Modern Warfare 2 2009 remastered maps makes Modern Warfare 2023, you know, up there for me. But like, I get it, man. Like in comparison to what we had the year prior, I get it. And anybody who goes, well, I don't know, let me go back and play Modern Warfare 2019, it's like, go back and play it, dude. Go back and play Modern Warfare 2019 multiplayer, and then go to Cold War. As much as you hate Cold War, I guarantee you're going to hate going back to MW 2019 more.
It is definitely these papers that we're stuck
Yes, it is.
in.
It really is.
Oh, you got this one here.
And like now, like they did so many updates, so many needless updates to Cold War that when you try to play, you know, regular multiplayer, you have frame rate drop, you have like cuts and pauses in your movement. We're trying to ADS and move around. It gets like skippy from time to time. And it's like borderline unplayable, and it's like, well, we're not going to invest time in fixing this game. We're hoping people are just going to move on to the next one. It's like, but they're still going to charge money for that game, and you know, it's microtransactions and all that garbage, even though they're letting it fall to pieces. Oh man.
Ooh. I will use the triple gunner as well at some point. Oh, Manga support cannon.
Yeah.
How do I use it? Okay, wait.
Yeah.
Downwards,
Campaign,
okay,
I'm
here we
still
go.
excited about whether or not zombies and everything turns out alright. Let me go check in on the other stream.
That is sick.
We're on Warzone now.
Comic book store. Comic book store.
Alright, everybody say in the chat, I got like maybe 2 or 3 people watching. Do you want to watch what they have to say about Warzone? Do you give a shit, or do you want me to go back to multiplayer and zombie streaming?
Craig, that's what I'm working on now. I'm trying to get the other numbers.
Area 99 looks like they're trying to copy Fallout. 1950s aesthetic. That's hilarious.
Take the
It's a little
zip line.
pathetic.
Like just in the comic book store right then. I'm on the main
alright.
stream. Let's go. Okay.
Yeah, their commentary is super fake and generic. And now it's back to the round table. Screw that, dude. God, it's so dark. They didn't. I wonder if they just didn't give them time to really check their streaming setup. I'm sure it's not that dark for them.
Try loot keys up motel doors. Give that a go.
The HDR settings, I guess.
Is there one in the impact? Comic book store inside the middle desk. Crouch. Okay.
Oh yeah. You're right. I'm tripping. Turn that. So dark, man. So freaking dark. Everything's just pitch black. Again, I'm sure it's not like that in the actual gameplay, and you can adjust that stuff.
Please, somebody res me. I'm good for a res now. No. I'm dead.
Damn.
No.
So yeah, why it had that Fallout aesthetic is because this is the first COD where Microsoft owns both Fallout. COD. Microsoft owned... Yeah. Yeah. And they already did that, like, Fallout crossover. I think they're gonna, like, maybe make some type of, knockoff, what's the word I'm looking for? Knockoff Detour story around radiation and all that stuff. That's not necessarily zombies, not necessarily the main story in the campaign.
Or do we just scuff that? Do we kind of scuff that one, or do we just kind of say, like, that was the flow?
Vault 141, yeah, I remember when that happened. Was that for, that was for Modern Warfare 3, right? The last COD.
Okay, we don't need them. We definitely don't need them. Absolutely, I was kind of cooking. I mean, like, we're playing against, like, top-tier players in the world. Like, not that much we can really do. Should I try this gun out? See what the play is?
Alright, so what I was told was correct. The, well, this is also, like, pre-beta and all this stuff. It could expand, but from what I was told, that the creative class would be more limited. So you'd have all these slots, but each slot wouldn't have, like, 30-plus attachments. They'd have, like, between 4 and 8 attachments to pick from. Except for optics, of course. Optics is going to be hundreds. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Second chance, and this is wild, but I think it's for certain objective modes, right? Or is this TDM? I do appreciate the res just because that was something that, you know, you had in like World at War in COD 4 if you had the right perk setup. It does add a challenging dynamic to the multiplayer when it comes to teamwork. It's also going to show who's like who the assholes are. Black Ops 1 had res as well for second chance if you got it pro'd.
I feel like we haven't won a face-off game yet.
Someone could res you.
We just haven't, like, wait.
See. Yeah, it looks weird, man. Also, his comments are full of Ronaldo is taking over YouTube. 50 million subs in 5 days. What do you? I'm not sure what you mean. But to address the first part of that question, he hasn't really addressed it since he said he's going to have like an independent investigation launch. I think there's more than an independent investigation at this point. I think there's probably more stuff going on behind the scenes, and he's got to be very careful. And his lawyers are essentially acting as his PR handlers at this point, telling him the do's and don'ts, and he's probably trying to stick to them very strictly. Dang, that's wild.
Away from 400. 7 likes, 5.
Let me see. Who else is doing what?
Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already.
Subscribe. Man, he's just not happy.
You can almost stop your slide cancel. Look at this. Like, this slide stop. That guy just did. Thought I was coming too late. Is that guy up top? I didn't know you could get up there.
Right. I know what you meant. Soccer. Football. I know what you meant. I saw something about that guy's popularity on like some TikTok thing. My wife was watching. She watches a bunch of trendy videos that talk about what's trending.
I'm just running around looking at the mini-map.
Yo, this is rough. This is rough.
There's going to be a massive skill gap. And when I say massive, I mean larger than the low taper fade. Like,
all right. Skill gap. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to Korean Savage. Are these the only 2 maps they're rocking? Damn. Okay, bro. So you know what that Prime drink? Yeah. I heard KSI and Logan Paul are on the verge of becoming billionaires because of it. That is insane. That is wild. I have never tasted Prime. Never drank it. Never really had the urge. I'm sure it's just, you know, it tastes pretty generic or like anything else. And it's all about just like the hype and the memes that gets it sold, but that's wild. Oh wait, hold on. Oh. Dang, got flashed.
Oh my god. Why am I not
Man.
recording this one?
Some of these outfits, like these uniforms and stuff, they look fucking pajamas. Alright, what's going on?
It's like Ocean Ops is continuing to dominate.
Oh, this
His
is the war
teammate
zone.
fell, but Ocean Ops going to keep
The
signing.
reactor map.
That's a lovely top-down look. Reactor, obviously the highest point of the map here.
To the pods.
The pods, boy. To the pods. Dive.
Are you a green pod or blue pod guy?
I think I'd be a... Well, I'd quite like to look at that purpley pod.
You're a purple podder.
Although the yellow pod looks like the tallest one. And these sort of... these habitation locations for the staff here at Area 99. Let's have a quick look and see how it looks on the inside. Oh, look at this. Better than my place.
Prime's only been around for a year. I thought it's been around for longer.
Well done,
Let me see.
Future.
Well done, Bleak Future. This love, this atom punk vibe, plates, you name it. All the goodies you would expect from Warzone, and of course, brand new weapons here in Black Ops 6. See some dives, man. Come on.
I was
know
going to say,
you've been doing it all
there's
day,
some
brothers.
decent ground loot as well. Every gun you pick up
Yeah,
feels
Prime-
like you
no,
can do
Prime's been
damage
around
with it. There's
for-
very few items that I was like, oh, this is never getting used.
It's been around for 2 years.
Nice shots there. Aim Brot taken down.
And J-God's in this lobby I just saw. Can we get a J-God screen up here?
He's on his team, man.
One
He's on
of
his team.
the legends, of course, of content when it comes to Warzone. If you ever want an update,
It did
you go to his
skyrocket in the
channel.
last year,
He's going
though.
to tell you what the meta weapon is,
Compound
what to be
gains.
doing in game.
Damn.
He's a family man as well. Always
wild.
entertaining.
Oh, very indeed a family man. A man who loves to pick apart his own gameplay. But once again, where are we going, folks? Where are we dropping? What's the game plan?
See, this is what
I didn't even play Warzone 3. This map, though, isn't full on Warzone, I don't think. I think this is just like their, Oh, it's J-God! Yo! Nice.
I mean, Ocean's patrolling the rooftops, making sure he's got a safe landing. Is there any gear up here? That's going to help out.
Certainly going to help
Yeah,
us,
he was fun to
full
play
squad
with
on.
and against at
I
MW
like the narration of
2019's
his own gameplay.
event.
Keeping the chat involved for maybe those who are driving or not
That was
necessarily paying
fun.
so much attention to what
Yeah,
they're
this is
seeing.
an instant YouTube video, you know? Why make edits?
But no, this is their, what is that mode
Oh, it's
called?
quick looking at loot, dude.
He's trying to figure out the new pickups. Oh, okay, this is the
There's
armor.
that smaller mode that they have for Warzone now. That they've had for a few years now. I wonder what their full Warzone map actually looks like. I was hoping it'd be Verdansk. Full on Verdansk. Yeah, I think the OG Warzone map was the best. They threw all their best ideas into that one.
And unfortunately, Espresso still looking over Shamu's
Let me go over here.
happy about it. We got to go over to Biffle.
21, still rocking it. Let's see, Korean Savage. Let's go back to Korean Savage. I want to see if they bring in those other maps. Instead of just that cave map they keep doing over and over again. Nah, he's running through settings.
How do I talk to my...
Everybody take notes.
I don't know how to work on mic. We're gonna do what we gotta do here. Playing Liberty Falls.
He went back to zombies? Damn.
I don't even know how to run like zombie trains. It's that bad.
Oh, he's not familiar with zombies at all, is he?
Bro, guys, after this, I think we're playing the new Warzone map, low key.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with Korean Savage, man. I might dip back and forth here or there, but I'm gonna stick with him.
Nah, I actually played zombies in like World at War.
Yeah. One of the best zombies ever, dude.
How did he get up there? I can't get up there? Wait, this map's kind of nice. Looks nice. How does it look? Alright, this is zombies. I don't know what we're doing. I think we go over here maybe? Wait, what is this? Oh, round two. We got somebody not even playing. What's this? I don't think any of us know what we're doing. What the hell is this?
Man, my man doesn't even know what the drops are. Little gumballs, bro.
Yo, Nick, what's going on, my guy?
Yeah, I feel that.
Guys, what do I need to get first?
I'm gonna pop back in plutonium after a while.
Movement and 360 ball jumps to him.
Now that I got my my elite controller. I didn't have my elite controller before with plutonium, but now I do. So might be the move. Hey man, if you got plutonium or if you got Xbox, I might be doing a stream here on Twitch coming up. I want to do co-op on World at War's campaign. But a lot of my friends, they're like, I only have it for PS3, man. Not all my friends have Xbox. Not all my friends have PS3s.
How do you get Juggernaut? What's the question?
How many hours do I have? I think I have, in the original Black Ops 2 on my PS3 profile, I am pretty sure that I have 30-something days, maybe 40 days, something like that.
I wasn't really looking at that.
In OG Black Ops 2.
Oh, this is self-revive, right? Oh, it's inside.
And I'm not even sure that includes zombies.
Yes, sir. Okay.
But yeah, a lot of hours. There was a time on PS3 where, because they would do, you could do like, you could look at the weekly performances on the leaderboards, and I was in like the top 5 for that, for a week, for that week, and I was like, I should probably take a break. What else am I gonna do? I had like gold into every weapon, you know.
This is round-based.
Yeah, Black Ops 2 is like, man, that was my zone. Yeah, 24 days, wow. Not including speculative campaign. Yeah, man, for real. I think I have maybe, in the original Modern Warfare 2, maybe 20 days. I didn't get a hold of Modern Warfare 2 the moment it came out, you gotta realize. I played a lot of it at my friend's house on his Xbox before I had the money to get it on PS3. And even then, I wasn't sure I wanted it. I think I wanted my own copy of World at War first, because I kept playing World at War at my friend's house as well. And then my dad was like, oh, I'll go ahead and get Modern Warfare 2. And we both were like, there ain't no way it's going to beat the first one. COD 4, that was so good, that was amazing. And then, yeah, so we got the OG MW2 about maybe 3 months after it came out. Just before the first map pack dropped. The, what was it, the stimulus package. Because jokes about the economic crash of 2008 were hilarious. Let's see.
Dude, the game is feeling good, bro. The last multiplayer match that we
Everybody's saying that the movement feels great for zombies.
We had a stacked team, so I can't take full credit for that.
And the movement to me looks like the same movement for Warzone, not Modern Warfare Zombies, sorry. And you know, I've played a good bit of Modern Warfare Zombies. It's its own thing. It's definitely not round-based zombies, doesn't have that feel. It feels like GTA 5 got zombies. But the movement's fine. And if that's the movement this game has, it's definitely not a negative thing. Let's see. Of the Spec Ops Remastered MW2 mod. Yes, I did see that. It looks good, man. I just wish we got it, man. God, I just wish we got it.
What do I upgrade it to?
Excuse me. Alright, Korean Savage is playing zombies. He says when he gets done with this, he's going to get on the full Warzone map. Have they switched over to the full Warzone map yet? Over here is the question. Who are these guys?
Where's the pack?
Well, he's got a trident. So, what is he, an X-Seal?
Getting weak, bro.
I think they all got tridents. He's got a trident. He's got a trident. They all X-Seals.
Oh, I'm dead.
I know who this guy is. I know who that guy is. Okay. Anyways, going back here. Oh, that's Doward.
Bro, I'm trying to find the bag.
Spec Ops. It's downloadable, bro. It's not copyright strike. Well, then I'm going to probably download that and install it. I did see some videos on it. Definitely be down to play some MW2 Spec Ops. Stream some of that.
I don't have any ammo to spec.
Oh, the vest was to the left of him. This, you know, this graveyard area next to the church and that entrance looks like the church entrance to the graveyard in Origins. That's what was bothering me. I was like, why does this look familiar? Because, you know, when you do the Easter egg to get the staffs and everything, when you get the staffs upgraded, that's what it looks like. And then you have the other part of the map with the bank, and the bank looks like the bank from Transit. But I don't think any of them are actually tied to any of those places. I think they threw them in for like visual reference and nostalgia. That's what I think. I feel like Andy's MW2 mod didn't get as much hype as H2M, despite the fact that Andy remastered the maps. I guess it was because no trailer. MW2R still had some decent hype. I think what happened was when MW2R got taken down, it brought all this extra attention to that part of the mod community that was focusing on remasters. It was such a big controversy when Andy's MW2R got taken down during that time that it brought huge, massive attention to, you know, that demographic of modding focused on remasters. That then people were on the lookout for the next one, which was H2M, and there was one more. Also, like SM2. A lot of people were focused on SM2, and then that got taken down, which brought even more attention to the issue of, you know, fans not being able to remaster. You talking about Andy? Andy didn't get a cease and desist? I know that he gave up on the project periodically over and over again.
It would have been crazy if they actually added dogs.
Then maybe I'm just thinking about SM2 when SM2 got taken down. Because when SM2 got taken down, it brought so much attention to all the modders that are just trying to bring back a classic COD experience. And it was like, why can't the fans just do that? Why can't the fans create a classic COD experience if they want to? If they're not charging money for it or whatever. And they gave all these excuses. Oh, they used, you know, assets or whatever. And it's like, no, they used old assets. They didn't use new assets. Well, the real thing was they were getting too much attention. They were getting too much grab from the community.
Extraction bird in your AO. Limited time offer.
Right descendant? What is that? this? I want a pack book so bad, but we need a little bit more money.
I mean, I haven't seen how over the top he's been going lately, but I'm sure it's over the top. He's always been over the top, man.
Oh, we're doing it. Oh, man, hold on. Okay. Oh, no. No teammates are dying. No.
It's just, you know, I don't know. I feel like a lot of the COD community feels like there's nowhere they can really go if they want that classic COD experience, because, you know, Activision won't release the remasters. Even the ones they've completed, they won't release them. Because they know that if they plug them with microtransactions and ruin the aesthetic and the visual continuity of the game, the fans will be pissed. But then if they can't put in those microtransactions, they can't monetize it the way they want to, so they're not going to do it, even though they know that the fans want it. And then when fans go, okay, then we'll do it ourselves, they take it down because they say, hey, it'll get too much attention. Too many people will play it, and we don't like that. It'll take attention away from the new game we're about to drop. Which is what happened recently with the email they sent to, you know, HM2 mod. So fans really feel like there's nothing they can really do. There's nowhere they can go as a community to collectively, you know, exercise their classic COD demons, as it were, to play what they want to play. Yeah, that's why a lot of people are sitting on IW4X. But a lot of people, you know, they play on console, they don't have PC, and they want to just be able to plug and play a game on console, and they should be able to. There should be a game released for them to plug and play on console. But Activision isn't doing it, and those people feel especially trapped, you know? Like there's nowhere they can go. Yeah, I feel that. Not wanting to purchase MWR, I feel that. But, you know, I don't think you... I think one of the versions allows you to play without the purchase now. You just need the file share version of it. You'll be fine. Alright. Come on, dude. I thought you were hitting up Warzone soon. Oh, let's bring it down. Over here. God, these guys are so freaking corny. I didn't have to listen to them. I just looked at them. Come on. Okay, so they've got Tim the Tatman playing zombies now. Dalek JD still on zombies, taking his time. He's been on zombies for like over an hour, and he's only at round 26 because he keeps exploring. I can't blame him. Man, like Korean Savage hopped on to zombies when Dalek JD was at like round 21, and now Dalek JD's at round 26 and Savage is at like 15. Oh man, that's funny. All right, showcase. Man, I'm getting bored with the showcase. Come on. Show me something good. It's just an ad for Warzone. MW3. I know, dude. They're trying so hard. And I feel like the campaign is going to be one of those campaigns that's going to be worthy of hype. And there's going to be parts of the multiplayer that should be worthy of hype, but there's going to be so many negative things or just stupid things, whether it's stupid functionality or it just looks stupid, that they have in multiplayer that's going to overshadow the good things. That's the biggest issue. They'll add really good creative things that people want, and then they'll just add negative things that overshadow the good things. It's like, dude, if I was on the team working on those like good ideas, I'd be pissed if my good ideas got overshadowed by the shitty ideas, man. I would be so pissed. I think that happened with like, you know, zombies aesthetic when it comes to creating the story. Because the original story was great. And then they had to go really wacko crazy with the story. And the negativity behind that overshadowed a lot of the zombies experience, even if the maps were good and fun. Like, the original storyline before the transition was perfect. Oh, that's exactly what it is. I found that out by talking to people, like talking to devs from both sides, whether it was Treyarch or Infinity Ward. You know, they can only do as good of a job as they want with what they're tasked with, but they get less and less and less creative freedom and, you know, control, less and less control over the direction. And more control goes up to the people who are talking directly to the investors and a lot of people who don't even play video games. And then they have to workshop certain ideas and then say, all right, we're going to throw these down to the creative teams and see what they can create out of the direction we give them. It's bullshit, dude. Joey Seacott, you're talking about Modern Warfare 2019. Yes. So they wanted to make a slower paced multiplayer for Modern Warfare 2019 to try to get back to the roots, get people adjusted to a more tactical team-based, because everything was run and gun up to that point. Black Ops 2 changed COD. Everything was trying to be run and gun, and you had boost jumps. Then they tried to make a World War II shooter that was run and gun, which is World War II. And then Modern Warfare 2019, they wanted it to be more slow-paced, so you had to be more methodical with how you played. But then Joey Seacott also wanted to, like, try to compete against Rainbow Six Siege, which, by the way, Rainbow Six Siege was nowhere near competing with Call of Duty. Call of Duty was still whooping Rainbow Six's ass, even when Call of Duty was at its worst. But he was like, no, we got to try to make a mil-sim clone that also has a feel of Rainbow Six Siege that COD fans don't actually want. And so they got rid of the mini-map, even in core, among other decisions that made the movement feel kind of clunky. And we noticed it when we played it in when we played it in 2019. We noticed all of that. Before all that stuff got uncovered, we felt it. They kind of insinuated that when they gave the little speech to us, the little presentation. He was responsible for a lot of them. Joey Seacott was. From what I remember seeing come out, he was responsible for a lot of them. And then he would make these shitty decisions. It would come out that he was, you know, overseeing these shitty decisions, and then he would just stay off of social media to avoid people messaging him or tagging him. He would just stay away. Yeah, they won't release Modern Warfare 2 Remastered because, at least the timing-wise, right? I feel like if HM2 decided to release 3 or 4 months after Black Ops 6 had already come out, you know, Activision probably wouldn't have cared, but the biggest concern for Activision when it comes to their investors, when it comes to timing, is the release window between launch and the 1st of January. That's their major sales window. As well as the 2 months before that window starts is the pre-order window. And that's what they care the most about, and they have a bunch of reports that come back, a lot of data that comes back from those 2 time periods that they then show to investors, and they don't want anything affecting that or impacting that in any type of negative way. They want it to have its best shot as being as big as possible, and they don't want to see any reduction in possible numbers. And so they went after a game they knew would have a decent sized impact, a decent enough sized impact. Well, that's the thing. Joey Seacott comes up with an idea, and then the team has to go, okay, we'll do it. If you look at when Sledgehammer, the guy who led Sledgehammer, okay, he did an interview on a podcast, YouTube podcast, about a month and a half ago. And I think I did a video on it. Maybe it was longer than a month and a half ago. Anyways, what he basically pointed out was no, it was probably 6 months ago. Dang, time flies. He came out and basically said they wanted to do Advanced Warfare 2. And they had all this stuff, not Advanced Warfare 2. They wanted to do their own game. They had their own idea for a game. And then while they were so excited building up their own game, basically Activision came down and said, no, you're doing this, you're doing it this way. So then he had to tell his people, but he told it to them as like, do you guys want to do this? As if they had the choice, but they didn't really have a choice. And if you do that enough times, your crew kind of understands they don't really have a choice when you ask that question. And they have to just go, yeah, I guess so. I guess we'll do that and make the most of it. And then Activision can sell it as, oh, the team was so excited to do this. They were all on board. No, they weren't all on board. They want to do their own thing. But they know that when the top guy comes down and asks, are you guys okay if we switch to this? They know that they have no choice, and they're going to have to go along with it anyways. That's the type of like bullshit they have to deal with. He knew about it. You're talking about, yeah. So the Sony restrictions, he knew about it. I had 4 sources originally that I was talking to around that time. Him and one other guy informed me on the breakdown of all that stuff. And then I was in a Discord, which I'm not going to name, that had several people in there, many of whom shared this, one of the same, intermediate sources that I had, and then knew other people that were on the inside that they would not name. And then we would triangulate information to be as accurate as possible. And doing that process, ended up being very accurate, and they were hearing the same stuff. And then there were other reports that were coming out that didn't get like huge headlines, but I found other reports from people saying the same thing, that that's what went down. I did make videos on it back in 2021. A lot of my videos I did take down after a while just to like condense my, I don't know, library of videos. I just had so many. But I did make videos talking about it back when I first found out about it. It was usually mentioned in passing with a bunch of other news, because the way I used to do my videos to get views was I would talk about several major stories in one video and do my best to articulate them and break them down where they were digestible, but they were also quick. And so there would be tons of big stories in each video, and sometimes the title description of said story wouldn't make it into the description or title of the video. You just have to watch and see it pop up. But yeah, there was also tweets from people like Tom Henderson responding to people talking about stuff like that and basically confirming he heard something like that. Or Ace or whoever else. But see, I don't like the look of skins on Wonder Weapons. That looks so stupid to me. It looks so ugly, does not look cool at all. It looks like a mod created by like a 9-year-old. Is what it looks like. It looks so out of place. That in the ray gun, it looks so out of place. Yeah, that looks dumb. That looks way dumb. Yeah, I mean, they have the scar. I don't know what they call it. I forget what they call it, but they do have the scar in MW3. I don't know if they call it the scar, but I got dark matter camo, so I know I used it. There's two different ones. They have the S and then like the H model. So the large and the smaller model with different ammo variants. Yeah, you have to unlock the camo. There is a camo you can put on it to make it match. There's also like I think there's a weapon skin for it that makes it look a lot like it. Yeah. Yeah, you have to get like the right camo on it. All right, I'm gonna check back in with Okay, yes. All right. Sick, he's switching over. Yeah, they were insane. They were awesome.
Oh, I don't have a loadout.
No shit, Sherlock. You just got in, dude.
I didn't make a class setup. Might be cooked low key. Hold on.
Oh my god. Oh Jesus.
So we have a stack squad. They're playing zombies. Wait, can we even make a loadout? We can't make a loadout. Alright, I'm playing with Rich. I can't seem to get this audio. Guys, how do you do this?
Over the war zone. Switching over to war zone.
Yeah, do you know how to like talk in game?
I would go.
Is it this? Oh.
I think it's the Corsair head.
Okay.
Switch that.
I'll try it. Thanks. I'm gonna try to talk to Rich.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. They don't look bad.
Gotcha. Hopefully
It's probably because like the base ones were probably the ones they spent the most time on, but as time goes on and they add new ones, or they add crazy looking ones that are just dropped for the sake of microtransactions, they'll probably look less and less detailed, more and more shitty. Yeah, this is their DMZ mode, right?
Hello, Rich.
You about to report somebody for cheating? The game just dropped, bro. Chill out.
Hello.
Chill out, dog.
so we can get some comms. But wait, I just realized. It's okay. Rich is having problems right now. So
Yeah, MW3 looked pretty good.
Here, I hear Brad.
Black Ops 4.
I hear
Again, I didn't
Brad.
play much of Black Ops 4, man. I didn't. Yeah, that's fine. I know a lot of people that loved it. What's his name? That runs Carnage. Dexbot. Dexbot loves Black Ops 4. When Modern Warfare 2019, because I got to play with Dexbot too, you know. And when Modern Warfare 2019 was just not hitting it for us, everybody was trying to find different games to go back to. He went back to Black Ops 4.
Wait, this feels different. This feels different. Actually, there's no point of doing this. I'll help my teammates real quick.
Enemy CUAV inbound.
Uh-oh.
Let's see. I agree with you on Black Ops 3. Microtransactions destroyed it, but also it was one of the first Call of Duties where they were excessively rebalancing weapons like every month. So when we first got on Black Ops 3, there was a friend of mine trying to get into Call of Duty. And he really enjoyed, you know, he got into it, he was learning it, he adjusted to the weapons, he had his classes set up. And then we stopped playing the game for like a month to play something else. And when we came back, they had completely rebalanced all the weapons and changed everything up. So now you have to readjust, figure out your classes, figure out your attachments. We adjusted again. We made better classes. We readjusted to the new weapon balance. And then they did another update and they nerfed a whole bunch of weapons again. And then gave buffs to others. And he was like, I don't want to play a game just to keep relearning it over and over and over again. And also the microtransactions became really excessive, and they kept pushing ads in your face. They pushed people forget they pushed ads so hard for microtransactions in Black Ops 3 that it would freeze the game sometimes. That it would freeze your game and you'd have to turn it off and start it back on again. So, yeah, I totally agree. They ruined Black Ops 3 multiplayer with that garbage. Yeah, this looks like those are those places in that map, pod from Black Ops 2's multiplayer. It's not exactly the same, obviously, but it's the same building type. That's pretty sick. Yeah, that's straight out of pod. That is straight out of pod. Map exploration looks good. Boo! Taking hits. Oh! Damn. No, Black Ops 3 servers got broken, maybe like in part to all the stuff they were adding with microtransactions and the ads and the page links and pop-ups and whatever else, but also just so many updates in general. That, you know, when they do, when you're pushing out so many updates, when you're pushing out so many things back to back, the problem is you're going to have this excess code, and you're not going to have time to clean it up because you know as soon as this gets pushed out, another thing's going to come out. So, you know, their workload was getting so crazy that it's like, we're not going to clean everything up, and then the game ends up feeling broken, or ends up being broken after a while. Modern Warfare Remastered, same thing. Update, update, update. Rebalance, rebalance, rebalance. Microtransaction add, more microtransactions. And every time they would add an update, there'd be excess code and excess BS within the game that was unnecessary. And then the game became unplayable, and they just abandoned it. And happened on Steam mostly for Modern Warfare Remastered. On console, it was still pretty playable. People just abandoned it over time. But then, like, that way of running things got worse and worse and worse. And then Modern Warfare 2019 had so much excess code. It was such a massive game. Warzone was such a massive game. And they admitted that the reason these game files were so massive in part was because of all the duplicate and excess code they didn't have time to refine out. And that's pathetic when you are like a multi-billion-dollar company making a AAA title game. And then Modern Warfare 2019 got so bad after a while that people couldn't download it, if you remember. In like late 2021, 2022, and into 2023, people wanted to go back and play it and make videos on it, and they couldn't re-download it. And if they re-downloaded it, it wouldn't function.
We had a good shot of getting.
It just had so much excess garbage code. It was a shit show.
Oh no.
Yeah, those grenades are rolling, dude.
Oh no, Reggie, I just did, I guess. Sally's going crazy.
Man, I remember Modern Warfare 2019. They added a skin, and if you were far enough away from somebody and you turned the right way, you would vanish. You would turn completely invisible. And I can't remember if they were able to fix it or they just got rid of the skin altogether. But that shows like how rushed they were. That like glitches like that were let to slip through. They had maps that were so broken they removed them and never re-released them. They never returned them. They just didn't have time to prioritize fixing their shit. It was just constantly focusing on what's going to be the next microtransaction, what's going to be the next map, what's going to be the next thing to be pushed out. That's why, like, with all the advancements and all the graphics and all the, you know, quote-unquote improvements, I just can't take COD seriously. And a lot of people can't.
What?
Got wrecked, dog. Alright. Dude's getting riggedy wrecked. Tim the Tap Man playing zombies. He's got a whole squad too. Nice. Dalek JD, round 36. Damn, my boy's still going solo. 37.
5 seconds. I think I'm gonna land right with Sally.
Alright, Warzone coverage.
Gotta try to avoid that team.
Alright. Is this really going to be their full-on Warzone map? I hope not. I was under the impression we were getting Verdansk back at some point. This DMZ size map. I don't know about it. That is Warzone. That's not DMZ. That is a small map, dude. Is it just me or does that map feel small? It's okay. Been 4 years, so this is potentially outdated, but I think Zombies had some weird type of patent which gave new players OP. No, that was true. That's a real thing that happened. Who broke that? I think it was Drifter and Ace that broke that, and they called it skill-based was it skill-based gambling or whatever with the mystery box? Yeah, that totally happened. That was so funny. And that was adopted over from, I think, Advanced Warfare. Because in Advanced Warfare, when they were doing the drops for weapons in the loot crates, people who were not that great at the game would get really good loot crate drops. And people who were really good at the game in the top 5 or top 1%, like me and a couple of my friends, we would get duplicates all the time. We'd get weapons that weren't that great. And then if you were the type of guy who would spend money on those loot crates, if you were a better skilled player, you'd be spending a lot more money to get good weapons. And if you were not that great of a player, you would be spending very little money. So there were YouTubers that were like reverse boosting, essentially playing shitty so they could spend less money and get like the good drops right away. But anyways, that carried over into zombies. They were like, yeah, let's give shitty players really good drops. Let's give them the ray gun every time, or you know, whatever, stuff like that. It could get really extreme. Yeah, it's not there for player retention. It is absolutely there to increase microtransaction sales. And they absolutely prove that with their own study that they released recently on skill-based matchmaking's effect on player retention, where they showed, without a shadow of a doubt, that having absolutely no skill-based matchmaking, to include getting rid of lobby balancing. You don't even have lobby balancing. Okay, you get rid of everything. It's all completely random. Versus having lobby balancing had less than a 1% difference. About half of a percent difference in player retention. And there's no telling how much of an increase of player retention you'd have with players that actually get to see themselves improve, who can actually see their improvement. Player retention would definitely increase for those players who weren't used to that. Because a lot of players, they get disgruntled. They get better and better and better, but the skill-based matchmaking essentially punishes them, so their KD doesn't improve. It keeps pairing them up with harder and harder matches. But those players would play a lot longer if they got to see their improvement. On MW3 right now, I don't know what it is right now. I know that it got down to like between 2,000 and 5,000 players for a good while on Steam. So that would be between 6,000 and 15,000 players across all, you know, all platforms. And I don't think that was for any given time. I think that was like weekly or monthly active users, something like that. It was very bad. I'm sure there are more people playing it right now, getting hyped and getting ready in preparation for the next game, but it's still in the thousands. It's not in the millions. And they use it as like a self-fulfilling prophecy. They kill the vibe with multiplayer, and they say, it's because Warzone's so popular. Everybody's moving over to Warzone. But then what happened was Warzone started to die, and investors was like, I thought you said, you know, multiplayer was only dying because Warzone was so big, but now Warzone's dying. Looks like people are just leaving your game. And they're like, we got to think of things to do. Start panicking, changing matchmaking more and more. And now they're running away from EOMM and focus purely on lobby balancing for the most part. And then they're trying to pretend that they never had EOMM in the first place. Like, their lies are catching up to them. That's the thing. Their lies keep catching up to them. And then when you have devs from Infinity Ward, like ex-devs from Infinity Ward, who were at Infinity Ward when Infinity Ward still owned Call of Duty, back in the days, because Infinity Ward created COD. They were there at the beginning. These are the founders. When they come out and call out Activision for their lies, because they now work at different companies, and say, here's the truth about the matchmaking. here's how it actually affects player retention. You guys are lying about this, you know. When you get called out, man, like that's embarrassing. And that's what happened. Mark Rubin, Alex Hennessy, Robert Bowling, a few others came out the woodwork, called them out. And now they're running away from EOMM and trying to make matchmaking more to like it was back in the day. And just hoping that their microtransaction sales keep popping. Which, if they're lacking in EOMM and you don't have that pushing sales, that means you have to push ads harder. So get ready for stupid amounts of pop-ups in the menus beyond what we've seen recently. Or maybe what we've seen recently will just continue. It's still way too much. Still so excessive. Tony, man, we need to go back to map packs. Pay $15 for 5 new maps that are actually polished and ready to go the moment you buy the map pack. That's what we need again. Get rid of all these excess ads for cosmetics and bullshit that most people do not want. The reason lobbies disband is because, primarily at this point, because you can customize your playlist of what game modes you play. Yeah. That's the main reason why lobbies still disband. Because you can set a playlist if I want to play Team Deathmatch, Domination, and Hardpoint, right? Somebody else will say, I want Team Deathmatch and Headquarters only in my playlist. So you will end up playing with that person, you know, when you're playing Team Deathmatch. When your randomized playlist puts you in a Team Deathmatch lobby, you'll end up with that guy. But the next match, if it's going to change game modes, it has to disband because his is set up for Headquarters, and your other game modes are only set up for Domination and Hardpoint. So it's got to disband for that. They're still talking about ways to fix that, but as long as they have customized playlists for your game modes, they're going to continue disbanding. I think they need to get rid of it. I know it's getting rid of choice or whatever, but like, look, how hard is it to say, hey guys, let's back out of Team Deathmatch and go play Hardpoint? How hard is it to do that? We don't need a randomized playlist for game modes. You just back out and go pick a different game mode. If they got rid of that, then there would be no reason for continuously disbanding lobbies. But also keep in mind, if they feel like microtransactions are struggling enough, they will renege their last claim, or their last model for matchmaking that they showed everybody. They'll totally renegotiate that into something else, with or without our approval or our knowledge. And there's a chance they'll kick it back in, right? There's always that chance. But they got a lot of reception, a lot of attention with their push for transparency on EOMM and skill-based matchmaking recently, that I don't know if they'd want to, if Phil Spencer would want to go back on that. I think he wants his reputation to be known as the guy that changed Activision and changed COD and changed the transparency of COD. But I still think, transparency or not, it is possible they turn EOMM back on if the investors complain enough.
No, bro. Oh my gosh.
Damn.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a tiny ass Warzone map.
Just want to win one match, just one time. Think it's gonna be possible or no? Damn, it's gonna be difficult, man. We have a lot of players that can win. Honestly, I might just, if we make it far, I might just watch the end game and see how they play it out and whoever wins.
What exactly did they lie about in the new EOMM discussion? So if you go watch my video, you'll see that they exaggerated the positive effects of skill-based matchmaking. And they insinuated that the matchmaking they've had over the past several years is in some or any way comparable to the matchmaking of COD 4, which is absolute bullshit. That insinuation that those two things are comparable is what got classic IW devs so pissed they came into the conversation and said, no, no, no. Engagement optimized matchmaking, which you guys have been using in the past several years, controls engagement to place players who are not so good, who don't buy microtransactions, with players who are good, who buy microtransactions, so they get pummeled to try to mess with them psychologically to make them buy things, right? And they were like, that's bullshit to try to compare that to COD 4. And so then the devs came out and broke down how COD 4 did its matchmaking, which was ping-based, totally random lobby, and then it balanced everybody based on skill identifying markers. Primarily, in the beginning, it was done through rank and time played. Very simple, rudimentary system. So basic balancing, which helped out a lot. But it wasn't so controlling or excessive where it felt like you were fighting in clone lobbies, right? And Mark Rubin even came into the conversation, which I'm glad he did, because he ran into the issue with clone lobbies, with lobby balancing in X Defiant, where ping-based matchmaking, totally random list of players in the lobby, and then it would use skill identifiers to balance the lobbies. In the beginning, the skill identifiers were so precise, even though it was ping-based, the lobby balancing still made it feel very clone-ish. So they had to readjust it to make it a little bit more random, right? So it was good to see him get in the conversation, talk about the COD 4 days, and say, no, this is how the balancing was, don't lie. Alex Hennessy came in, same thing. So they just tried to make it sound like the shady things they were doing in recent years weren't really as bad or as extensive as they actually were, and tried to compare it to the innocence of the matchmaking of COD 4, which was, it was so stupid, so silly. And then when they showed how they're matchmaking right now and trying to matchmake into the future, where they say, yeah, it's going to be ping-based, connection prioritized at the very top, and then the next factors that follow is going to be, you know, balancing and maps previously played and game modes, right? That plays into what I just talked about, which is your game mode playlist. What the hell? Oh, an ad.
They have a setting in the game that you can push, that you can turn on, and you don't got to worry about doing movements. The game will do the movements for you.
He just switched the murder show on me. I guess he just... Okay, I guess dude's out. But anyways, what was he saying? Yeah, so the way they're doing it now is they're prioritizing ping, and then they're just going to balance the lobbies thereafter. That's essentially what they were talking about. And that's how they create and matchmake. But they tried to insinuate, like, yeah, this is how it's been the whole time. And then they showed a chart where it showed players who were not very skilled, decently skilled, medium, high, super high skilled, the impact on them with absolutely no skill-based matchmaking whatsoever. And what they showed was player retention dropped like this much for people who were very low skill, this much, not very much at all, for people who were like medium skilled, almost no drop in people who were skilled, and then an increase in player retention for people who were very skilled. But obviously there was a bigger amount of drop overall on the average, and they're like, see, it just doesn't justify. But in very tiny numbers, you can see that it was like the largest drop was less than 2%. The average drop across the board was less than 0.5%. So you're telling me you're spending millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars on creating this very complex matchmaking system for a 0.5% difference in player retention? Nah, that's bullshit. It's total bullshit. It's not about player retention. It was always about microtransactions. In the beginning, it was about player retention when it was very simplified, identifiable skill markers that they were using to balance lobbies, and it was just lobby balancing with prioritizing ping. Back then, it was about player retention. But like 2013, 2014 and onwards, every change that was made thereafter was purely about microtransactions and pushing microtransactions and manipulating people to purchase microtransactions. So, what frustrates me about one of my favorite content creators, Murder Show, is he openly admits that he plays the new COD throughout the year regardless of how trash it is. Yeah, I mean, he's gonna. That's what people want to see him play. And his trash talk on those games is pretty entertaining. So, shoot, man. Self-punishment, what are you gonna do? That's what people follow you and watch you for. Classic Prestige. I love how they say new gameplay systems. Classic Prestige. It's like, yeah, the Prestige system that should have never left in the first place. No fan asked for Prestige to be removed. That was never a request made by any fan. They removed it on their own and then tried to force it onto the fan base. And now that they're bringing back the thing no fan ever asked them to remove in the first place, they're like, isn't this a big deal? Isn't this cool? I am glad it's back, though, but it should have never left. They were so gritty and dark back in the day. MW2, Black Ops 1, Fallout, GTA 4, Fallout 3, and GTA 4. Yeah, absolutely. And again, a part of that comes down to the artistic decisions when it came to lighting. We talked about this before when it came, in our conversations about CG. And people are more about pursuing the most advanced technology than they are about pursuing the best artistic decision, if that makes sense. Doing what's new and trendy and going to get attention online prioritizes and takes precedent over actual artistic decisions. And then sometimes artistic decisions will take priority over gameplay functionality. And that's the trifecta of fucking up your game. We just go back to Dalek JD. That's the trifecta of screwing up your game. But yeah, like ray tracing is what I was trying to get at the point to. Everybody was switching over to ray tracing to make things look better and more detailed and more realistic. But at the same time, it took away a bit of the character that certain games had. And I've seen videos where people are like, let's do like a quick remaster of a game. Add in some simple updated textures. Let's add in ray tracing and see how much better it looks. And they do it, and then, certain places look way too dark in the distance. The contrast is too high. And it just takes away the feel and the character of the game. It, neuters it a bit visually. So, yeah, sometimes newer and more advanced and technical isn't always better for your game and the visual presentation, the art of it. Modern Warfare 2, the lighting in that game was great. They had, I think it was like a 2 or 3%, something very low, tint to the visuals in the game to make it more cinematic, yellowish green tint, which you saw in a lot of action movies at that time in the early 2000s, which is what they were trying to mimic. that cinematic feel. Black Ops and World at War were dark and gritty. They took visual lighting and contrast cues and saturation cues from movies like Saving Private Ryan. And it's hard to mimic those things super accurately when you have ray tracing involved, because it's like an all or nothing type of deal. So, yeah, I agree. Visually, I liked the older games better. I mean, keep the polygon. The polygon detail of today is obviously unmatched. Keep the assets and the objects super, super detailed, but then just switch to like old school lighting and see how that changes the game visually. Let me see. By the way, my final MW2R question. So like back in the day, Shieldmaster said that his leaker said that Keith and some other guys thought MW2R multiplayer was releasing on a particular day, but it didn't. Oh, I remember Keith. Yeah, I was good friends with Keith back in the day. And then he just vanished. I think he got out of the game. I miss Keith. I hope he's doing good. But, yeah, no. So, they thought it was going to release on a different day. My guy, who was reporting to me, showed me... Because I remember talking to Shieldmaster. But I posted my video like 5 days before the release saying, hey, the trailer's going to launch the day before, and the game's going to launch the day after. And it's going to be like a Monday. It's all last minute. And the reason it's last minute is because of the shit show that's going on behind the scenes. Every decision is being made last minute. There's all this arguing going on. And there are people like, no, really? It can't be that unprofessional. You know, that sounds very unprofessional. It's very sad behind the scenes. And then sure enough, that Sunday, I'm pretty sure it was a Sunday, the trailer dropped and then the game dropped. Their information that they got a few days before my information, and it was just different timing. There was one argument and one set of decisions being made at that time, and then it was so chaotic behind the scenes, everything could shift within 24 hours. That's all it was. It wasn't that they had bad sources. It was just the work environment at the time behind the scenes was so chaotic. Same thing happened with TGR, the Gaming Revolution, when I was messaging him. What have you heard most recently? What have you heard in the last hour? What have you heard in the last 5 hours? What have you heard in the last day? We were constantly hearing all these changes. That's how chaotic it was. Yeah, some people knew why, some people didn't. Initially, I didn't know that it was the Sony thing. I was trying to figure out the reasons why, so I was really heavily focusing on the arguments they were presenting, the official excuses. One official excuse was, oh, well, you know, we put microtransactions in Modern Warfare 2 Remastered Multiplayer, and we just don't think that fans would really like it, so the way it sits right now, we'll have to work on it some more before we release it in a way that fans will like. That was one of the official excuses. That turned out to be bullshit. That wasn't the reason why. The game was just being held hostage. But yeah, it was awful. It was all confusing. Super big mess. And like I said, information was changing every which way the wind was blowing. And it wasn't because people had bad sources or sources that actually, you know, fake sources or people who weren't actually working in there. TGR, Shield, Keith, me, we all had sources that were actively working in there. But the information was constantly changing because of the arguments and because of the quick changes of decision making that were happening. Totally unorganized, totally unprofessional, totally chaotic. Alec JD is putting in work right now. Oh, got murked. 6th place. Damn. And all of that chaos was because Bobby Kotick made the stupid decision of putting the project underneath the jurisdiction of Sony because they were funding the project. So with Sony calling the shots, they then were like, oh, we can totally use this as leverage, hold this game hostage, get things that we want until Activision totally dips. And then once they dip, from what I heard, the penalty for breaching contract was Sony getting more years of exclusivity. So they were trying to strong arm the extension of their access to Call of Duty exclusivity. Yeah, they should have just funded the project themselves. Activision has billions of dollars. You trying to nickel and dime a remaster of a classic game? Just fund it yourself. That was such a stupid decision. Tom Henderson found out about Sony. But, again, there was so much information and so many excuses and so many false narratives going around at the time. Tom Henderson doesn't like speaking on matters when there's that much flack going around and confusion going around from legitimate sources. He doesn't want to say anything for sure when there's that much arguing and confusion going around. But no, he learned about it. He became aware of it. And I talked to Keith. Let me see if I still have my conversations with Keith on Twitter. Come on. It's got to be in here somewhere. I know he deleted his account, but I didn't think it would delete all of the messages you had with the individual. Yeah, I remember talking with Mr. Leaks at the time. Skype. Oh, Majestic. Damn. Yeah, it looks like when he deleted his account, all of our messages got removed too. That sucks. Oh no, I got him. I found him. His side of the messages are not showing up, but I still have my side of the messages. What's your old intro song that you used 21 of 2023 videos? I love that soundtrack. Oh, let me pull it up on my computer. By the way, man, let me see. 2023. Yep. All right. Let me check. Music. Respectagnize. That's what it's called. Recognize. Let me see if I can find out who the contributing artist is. It's a YouTube song. I got it off of YouTube. Details. Nope, doesn't have an artist tied to it. But yeah, if you just go to like YouTube Music and type in Recognize, you'll probably see it. Petition for Flex to upload Fallout series videos. Man, I might go back. Play Fallout. I might go back to the beginning. Top down, 2D, Fallout 1, Fallout 2, then Fallout 3. Might be a good time. I just looked up to see Dalek JD get freaking wrecked. My conversation with Keith. So it's basically, we did a lot of talking about personal stuff. We talked about people that we both knew at Activision because he had worked at Activision. I had connections at Activision. Talked about when one of my contacts at Activision who met me at my, when I went there in 2019, who I stayed in contact with, she tried to get me to out some people, some of my sources, and I told her no. I didn't out anybody. I never outed anybody. Talk about how the sources we were talking to were really trying to listen to the fans, but they weren't, the people who were calling the shots were not acting on it. So they knew what the fans wanted. They weren't acting on it. Let's see. Keith was saying I'd rather have a split community that thrives and is happy than a huge community that is miserable because of one decision. Just saying. Again, it's hard. I'm just looking at my side because his side is like, his side is gone. It's just not there anymore because he deleted his account. So I'm trying to remember what his replies to each of these messages were, but these messages are from 2020. So this is me talking about dropping my source, a lot of my sources because of the drama that was going on. It was just too much to deal with. And talking about how one of my sources was talking to TGR. We had an intermediate source between us. I was telling Keith that anything he tells me, if he wants to remain confidential, it'll just be between us. Oh, let me see. So I was talking to one of my guys, and I asked him about this year's COD's health. 5 weeks back, he said it's fine as far as function. Not too behind. Playtesters. Oh, this was us talking about the health of the next COD, which would have been Vanguard, and how much it was struggling. Talk about the Army a little bit. I was in the Army. He served as well. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah, I know. I know. Oh, this was funny. So towards the end, people were becoming paranoid about every little thing that Keith was saying. Because they were still... This was the end of April 2020. Oh, shit. Hold on. So is the mention of crate reveal, 2-player Spec Ops multiplayer, player count, total XP? Yeah. Dang. Dang. I wish I could see his reply to this message. Damn. I hate Twitter sometimes. A lot of times, to be honest. Damn. Yeah. I'm like digging into Shield Master's messages with me to see if I can find anything else about Keith. That was such a frustrating time. Do you feel that Modern Warfare 3 was like Modern Warfare 2 2009? No, but I will say that the changes they made to the movement mechanics in the multiplayer fit those maps and their style a lot better than the movement mechanics in Modern Warfare 2022 and Modern Warfare 2019 would have. I'm glad that they went with Sledgehammer's engine and movement mechanics, because those fit and played so much better in those maps than the other movement engines would have. Dang, he got squashed right from the get. Let me see. Let me turn this back up. Listen to what Dalek has to say.
He's got up and left.
You mentioned Twitter. I feel like Musk is brain dead when it comes to Twitter. First he says he does not care about advertisers. Then valuation goes from 44 billion to 19 billion, and now he wants advertisers back. Yeah, and it was also shown that, you know, when he was like, the owners of Twitter are appeasing government agencies to censor or whatever, right? Well, it turns out that 88% of censor requests that have come from many different governments have been respected, meaning that, like, he took those requests and acted upon them. 88%. So he's no different than the problems that he bitched about when he bought the company. He said he didn't want to censor. He wanted like free speech, and then there's various speech that he does censor, and then various speech that he doesn't. It just like changed. He didn't want to give people special treatment, and then the list got leaked out of all the people that he's targeted to give a pass for breaking the rules on which words to say or not to say. So he censors some people, then a select few people he doesn't censor, he gives them a pass. He literally became the exact same thing he bitched about being the reason he bought Twitter in the first place. A a lot of people thought Modern Warfare 2 Remastered was shelved to eventually be released with another Modern Warfare. And then later, when people found out that Modern Warfare 3 was going to release with the remastered maps of Modern Warfare 2, they were like, oh, so they're just going to remaster Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer and just release it as like DLC to Modern Warfare 2022. A lot of people thought that, but no, that's the reason why it got shelved back in 2020 was the bureaucracy with Sony. Unless you're talking about the suspicions people had in 2022 and 2023 of them releasing it again, because there was rumors floating around again at that time that they were looking into doing that. And then it turned out those rumors were not related to an actual remastered multiplayer Modern Warfare 2, but it was actually them developing the maps from scratch for Modern Warfare 2 to release in Modern Warfare 2023. And a lot of people were like, why did they have to rebuild those maps from absolute scratch? Why couldn't they have just used the frame of the original maps and then updated them for the modern games? And it was like, it's because those assets are still tied to those projects that were under the jurisdiction of Sony. Like, we already talked about this. And I even predicted if they were to come back with the maps and they were still under restriction, they'd have to build the maps from scratch. And what happened? They had to build the maps from scratch. That's why. Do you know if the assets in Modern Warfare 3's Modern Warfare 2 content is from... No, they're built completely from scratch. They could not use anything from Modern Warfare 2 Remastered or the original Modern Warfare 2 because the original Modern Warfare 2 assets were the assets being used in the Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer remastered that got shelved and restricted. So they had to build everything from scratch for Modern Warfare 3. And everyone thought it was, oh man, that's such a big waste of time. It's like, well, they had to. Everything else was locked up with legal restrictions because of the falling out they had. I'm telling you, man, it was the dumbest idea. Like, the motivation behind giving the jurisdiction of the project over to Sony, the motivation behind that was that Sony was funding it. And they're like, we'll save a little bit of money having them fund it. But they gave them that jurisdiction, that control, and they leveraged it against them. And it's like, dude, just pay for your projects from now on. Just pay for your own damn projects. You have billions of dollars. You don't need a nickel and dime things that important. I think it threw off the whole trajectory of the next 10 years of COD after the fact. Honestly, I think it did. Because Modern Warfare 2 Remastered multiplayer and campaign were supposed to come out in 2018. Every 2 years, they were going to release a remastered game and then get into Treyarch. That was the original plan. And all of that got thrown out. And they've been like juggling what to do with their future ever since. Campaign stuff, yeah, campaign stuff, it absolutely did have some of those assets. But for the multiplayer, no. It didn't have any of the Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer assets in there. The campaign stuff from the released remastered campaign, those assets that were in there and in there alone, yeah, some of those made it over. But everything else, no. Because obviously the campaign was not locked away. The Modern Warfare 2 remastered campaign was not locked away. That got released. That wasn't held up in all the restrictions and all that BS. Think of the campaign and the multiplayer as two completely separate entities. One got released, one's restricted. This is wild. This is such a condensed map. All right, what are they talking about now? The Endowment Bowl. Hey, I got my shirt from when I went to that event back in the day. Okay. Let's go to the next event. Live. We'll wait on that. I just want to see people keep playing the game, honestly. Keep that up and going. Alright, so the 2-year remaster, Tom Henderson talked about it, a lot of people talk about it, and it's even in Modern Warfare 2 Remaster campaign. You look at the release date, the original release date, 2018 is what's in the game. You look at the posters and all that stuff in the game, 2018 is in the game. It was supposed to be released every 2 years. So 2016 was Modern Warfare Remastered, and they were like, all right, we'll do Modern Warfare 2 Remastered next. And they saw the flaws with the release of Modern Warfare Remastered, how they had it hidden behind a paywall where you had to pay for the most expensive edition of Infinite Warfare, a game that most people didn't even want. You had to pay for the most expensive edition of it to get access to Modern Warfare Remastered. They know it would have performed better if it was just released by itself from the get-go. And then they didn't release it by itself until after the opportunistic window of sales, which was like 5 or 6 months. Anyways, so they were going to release Modern Warfare 2. The remaster plan, so 2 people that I talked to that worked on the inside talked about it, but there was also news articles about it, from other unnamed sources from wherever the journalists got their shit from, but I heard the same thing. So I know what those journalists put out were correct. Again, this was just like the Sony incident where it got reported on. There are articles out there, but it was underreported everywhere else. Just got underreported. But yeah, people worked on the inside confirmed it, that it was going to be a 2-year plan. And then the development of Modern Warfare 3's campaign and multiplayer remastered got postponed. It got slowed down a hell of a whole lot because they didn't release Modern Warfare 2 Remastered in 2018. But that's how long they had that shit ready. That's how long they had that shit ready. It was all the way back in 2018. And then they were going to do Modern Warfare 3 Remastered in 2020, and presumably after the fact start going towards, Treyarch remasters and whatnot. But 2018 got hung up. 2020 got hung up. And then that's why, like, all of their plans, instead of, like, having a 10-year plan and sticking to it, they would be like, we have a 10-year plan. And the next year, Activision would be like, we're announcing a different 10-year plan. And the next year, we're announcing a different, because they were juggling everything. Everything got thrown off because all that got screwed up. They already had a plan that was going to be great. And all of that got thrown off. Well, the thing is, you have to look at it from their perspective. Sony was telling them, if you just do this, we'll release it. If you just fix this, we'll release it. But they weren't. They were purposely holding it hostage. But they kept saying, oh, if you just do this, maybe we'll if you just do this, we'll give the okay. And they're giving like all these false promises. They kept moving the goalposts. That's what I was told, is that Sony kept moving the goalpost. So if Sony said, oh, we'll release it as a safety net for when a COD is struggling, then they moved the goalpost to that. Yes, that was said. Yes, that was like the idea that was going around. So people reporting on that were telling the truth of word that was coming from the inside. But Sony wasn't going to stand by that. They were going to betray that, suggestion over and over again, just like all their other goalposts that they've moved, right? So that was something that was said, so they weren't lying. They weren't incorrect that was like a possibility. It was just, it wasn't going to be respected. It wasn't going to be upheld. Like, I'm telling you, the more you learn about how it's being handled, the more frustrating it gets. Like, just imagine working with a company and they take full advantage of the fact that you gave them any control whatsoever, and they just keep moving the goalpost. Oh, we'll do it if this happens. We'll do it if this happens. We'll do it if this. Oh, sorry, we didn't do this. We'll do it if this happens. Dude. And then, knowing that about Sony, to then see how pissed off Sony was getting and how entitled Sony was getting when Activision was being purchased by Microsoft. You can't do this to us. Like, no, dude. You guys were being a bunch of baby back bitches. You threw everything off the rails. It was so stupid. Like spoiled children, dude. And the thing is, like, I was a Sony guy. I had the PS3, PS4, almost got the PS5. The only reason I didn't get the PS5 is because when I had the money to get a console, it was all sold out everywhere. But, like, in hindsight, dude, like, Call of Duty should have just stayed with Xbox the whole time, bro. Should have never left. I would have never said that 5 years ago, but in hindsight, dude, they should have never left Xbox exclusivity. Yes, yes, he did. And that's one of the things I think learning about how the goalpost was constantly being moved is what made like me and Keith kind of give up on covering it. Because going back a little at our conversations, you heard this, oh, did you see this, did you see this, did you hear anything new? He was like, it's always changing. They'll say they're going to do one thing and then they don't. And he was like, I think I'm just done with this. We're not going to get it. We're just not going to get it. I remember that message. And I was like, yeah, I guess we're just not going to get it. And we were right. We're not going to get it. All the changes of the promises were going to be completely abandoned. We're just not going to get it. This is depressing. This is sad, bro. You know, I'm not going to watch this bowl. I don't care about Warzone competitions, to be honest. I think I'm going to pause my stream. I'm going to re-up it in a little bit and then play, continue my stream on the Black Ops campaign and then move into Cold War. So I'll be back. I'm going to end this stream, get a bite, come back, and then start that stream. No, Keith was not the one that told me about the Sony issue. The one who told me about the Sony issue was two people. One of the people was the intermediate source that was also talking to the Gaming Revolution and was also talking to a couple of other people at the time. I want to say names so bad, man. Especially going through my chat and seeing some of those old conversations with some of those old sources. Some of them are still around. A lot of them aren't. They've completely made new profiles and changed their names and whatnot. But man, one day I'll be able to break it all down. Sledgehammer is awesome. They just get really bad raps, man. If Sledgehammer was left to just do what they wanted, it would be great. They come up with great ideas. They are very creative, very responsible, very responsive to the community. But Activision comes in and says, no, you have to do this. We're calling the shots. Do the best you can with what we're giving you right here. That's what ends up happening. You think they want to do a World War II game with a heavy emphasis and focus on operators and not focus on faction-based gameplay? No. They didn't want microtransactions taking over the whole function of a World War II shooter. Activision pushed that on them. That's what happened with Vanguard. But the function, the gameplay of the multiplayer, people actually liked. You think they wanted a project that was going to be that extensive last minute with a year and a half to push out? No. Activision pushed that on them. So yeah, Sledgehammer is great. They need to be left alone to do their own thing. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream, and then I'll pop on a little bit and just pop back.